All right. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good evening from wherever you join. Welcome to our Copilot Studio training program. And today it's day one of this training program. So first of all, I would like to kudos to every one of you who is joining this particular training program. A very warm welcome to our new batch of Copilot Studio. This is our 23rd batch of overall Power Platform Trainings.com and second co-pilot training program. We had one program earlier back in January 2025, and back in July we are coming up with a second co-pilot studio batch over here. So first of all, welcome all of you to this training program. Hope this training program will help you to give or upskill yourself more into AI and Copilot space, because AI and Copilot is the new and emerging technology in the world of low code, no code, and more futuristic trend around this technology has been boomed since last 1 year, last 7 to 8 months or something, where this product is started booming into the market. So now, without further delay, let's get started and talk about what exactly it is, what you are going to learn into this overall training program, as well as what we are going to cover up into this training program. What is AI? How this overall AI is started in the world of Microsoft, as well as how the AI has started booming since 2022, 2023, and what is the overall journey behind the scene. Let's come up with some sort of questions around, like, okay, how AI is working, how exactly it uses behind the scene models. So these are the few concepts we are going to talk about in today's session. Again, it's a very lightweight session. And again, Copilot Studio is not like a more code-based technology. It's like a low-code technology. So it's like overall here we are talking about more on the prompting, because based on the prompt, mainly your agents and those things are getting started. So let's start this overall journey with me over here on 7th July 2025. It's a very good date, 7/7/2025. And probably exactly around 1 month, 1 week later, we will finish up this course. Overall, 15 different chapters are there. So we'll go step by step into detail. So from scratch, we are starting this journey from today. Before we start this particular training program, I just would like to talk about a couple of housekeeping things that everyone need to understand. All the sessions are being recorded, and session recordings will be shared with each and every one of you after the training class. Exactly at 6:30, we will finish our class. Within 2 hours, you will receive the recording of that class to your email address that you have registered with us. So, in case if you are having, I know it's a weekday training program, so maybe if you have some meetings, or maybe if you just wanted to skip 30 minutes or 15, 20 minutes, don't worry about that. Recordings will always be with you. It come up with 1 year of validity, so up to 1 year you can keep watch those recording and upskill yourself. Why 1 year? Because 1 year is very enough for learning any new product. Because if you do not learn within 1 year, after 1 year, when you look at the same product, many things will be changed into that, many enhancements are coming into that. So even though you watch the recording, you will not feel that exact context. So make sure that whatever we learn throughout this training program, you do the practice, you finish your learning part, even after finishing the training within 3 months itself, you finish up everything with the practice. So at least you will gain your confidence into the product one. Okay. Second thing, recording is only for you. Do not share the link with anyone else, because or maybe do not use any kind of AI tool in order to join this meeting and all. Some people are joining with some sort of AI meeting generator tools with these meetings, and also make sure you do not do that thing. If we find any such cases, we'll just remove that AI user from this meeting chat. Okay. Third, respect everyone and ask the question with the relevant topic. So overall, this training is not just like a one-way communication. It's not like only me talking, but you are asking your question as well. So whenever at certain period of time, like, okay, today I'm going to learn teach you 5 different topics, and let's say for an example, once I finish first topic, I'll pause the stage for open Q&A. So you can unmute yourself, you can ask your question, I'm happy to answer your question. And at the very end of the session, we will open the stage for general Q&A. If you have any common question, you can ask during that time. But when I'm asking the stage for Q&A, maybe be specific to your question. Like let's say today I'm teaching you the topic of variables in Copilot Studio. So maybe ask the question relevant to it. At the time, do not bring up something like which is totally non-relevant to it. Okay, keep that question for the later part. I mean, at the end of the session, I'm happy to answer everyone's question. Okay, because that is the aim of the live training program. So your doubts are getting cleared from this overall training program. Okay, and number four is practice after each session. How to practice is we will provide our own tenant as well. And even if you have your own tenant, you can practice in your tenant as well. That's totally fine. But throughout this training program, at least you can start practicing in our tenant as well. No such issues in that. So we'll talk about that as well in the later part of this episode. Okay, so without further delay, let's get started and talk about that. So overall, with this particular training, let me just start with the introduction over here. So first of all, of course, most of you have connected me through my YouTube or through my Insta account or somewhere. Basically, I'm just providing generally, I'm just posting the different content on Power Platform, Copilot, and AI on my YouTube channel and all. So basically, if I talk about myself, my subject matter expertise is specifically in the Power Platform, AI, and M365 side. Currently, I'm working as Power Platform practice lead and AI practice lead in one of the Australian company. As I said, my core subject matter expertise in Power Platform and specifically the SharePoint and wherever you can see the Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Pages, Copilot Studio, which is earlier known as Power Virtual Agents and all. Using that, I have built lots of business application. Overall, 1100 plus content I have published on my YouTube channel, and of course, I have launched some of the step-by-step popular tutorial series on my YouTube, and from there most of you know about me. So this is all about generic idea about me. If I talk about this training program is conducted under powerplatformtrainings.com. This is my own company underneath which I'm conducting the different training programs. So basically underneath these training programs, we are having the different courses at this point available like Power Apps or Power Automate or Copilot Studio. And again like Power Automate, Power BI. So these are the courses which are present at this point underneath this training program. My training program always come once in a quarter. So this Copilot Studio batch, January 2025 was the first batch. This is the second batch, which is coming up 6 months later. Probably this is the last batch of this year. Probably next year we come up with a new batch for Copilot Studio. But again, like Power Apps, Power Automate, Model Driven Apps, these are some upcoming training programs we are having underneath that. So about this company, the main purpose of this company is conducting the live training program, because from YouTube we are getting lots of requests around the live training. And YouTube is a communication platform. There is a communication gap where you cannot connect with me directly, because it's like me recording or uploading the things, and it just going as a playlist, and you watch it, or maybe you just comment it out, and uh, I'll just reply it. It's like that. But there is a more demand that okay, step by step guided learning path, or that is missing. I'm not saying that okay, all the content which is exclusively, which is not available anywhere, because the world is very small nowadays. Like everything is available on internet for free, 100%, right? But the thing is that there is no such guided path. Like okay, out of thousand things that you find from the internet, how many things are useful to you? Or when you are starting the project, how many things you need to know, right? It's not something that all the 10,000 articles available on the internet are useful to you, or maybe all these things you need to know before you start the project. That's where this overall guided training path come up into picture, where we are guiding you that okay, this is how the typical industry project starts and works, and slowly you can upskill yourself and become expert into that part. That's the main training program. That's the main purpose why we have launched the different training program underneath the training company. And again, we are making on the affordable segment. So all the training programs are affordable enough, which is less than $100 price range. So everyone can afford it. And basically, you will get some proper learning, which fulfill your business need or specifically the enterprise standard. All right. Our main revenue for this company is coming from mainly the consultation project. As I said, I'm an independent consultant and I'm working for the different companies, not only for India, but specifically the overseas like Australia, UK, US, UAE, different customers we are serving underneath that, and some of my team members and me working together with the customer to deliver the project. So our 70 to 80% revenue coming from the projects, only 20% revenue from our businesses coming from this training because of my limited availability. And training is something which I'm doing because I love to do it and I love to connect with you guys. It's something that it's not always about the money, it's always about the happiness, and that's the reason why I'm having this training program at least once in a quarter or depending on my availability. Okay, if you just wanted to follow me on my social media handle, this is the shortcut link which you can use. All the social media handle links of our companies are available over here. So you can connect us on our YouTube website, Instagram, LinkedIn, or any other platform. I'm pasting this link in the chat window as well. So this is all about me and my company, Power Platform Trainings.com. Now, without talking more about me, let's talk about today's session agenda. So today, first I'm going to walk you through with overall course content that what exactly we are going to cover up. And then we will start our journey with the introduction of AI and history of OpenAI. Because whenever we are talking about AI, OpenAI is a company which is, foundation. I mean, many companies are there, but it become popular when ChatGPT come up into the market. So it's better to know about what OpenAI is, what exactly it is doing, what is the history of the Copilot. Right now we are talking about Copilot a lot, but how it discovered, exactly in which year, how many things they have rolled out as a feature, and right now at which maturity level the overall product it is. Well, let's talk about that. Then we will talk about GPT. We talked about mostly chat GPT, right? So what is GPT? What is the full form of GPT? What exactly it is? And what is being used? So whenever you are prompting anything, right? How it answers from your model. So we'll talk about the different GPT model and what is the use for each GPT model. We'll talk about that as well. And at last, we will start about the Microsoft Copilot. That okay, in the world of Microsoft, what are the different type of Copilots available? Copilot is available in each and every product of the Microsoft nowadays. So we are sometimes confused that okay, what Copilot is based for my business versus not. So we'll talk about that in detail into that part. And at last, we'll talk about Copilot Studio. So Copilot Studio is the overall training program. So at the end, we will talk about that entire product, Copilot Studio, what exactly it is, what you can do with that, what are the use cases which you can solve with that. So we'll talk about that. This first session is more on the theoretical session. From next session onwards, we will start performing the practicals only. And this entire training program is 100% practical based, which means that we are going to perform the different case studies from next class onwards. So we will take the specific industry case study. We will start working on that. Okay, how we can deal with that, and how we can start building the agents, how we can start building the agents or chatbot is the same name. So we'll talk about that. Also, we'll talk about some of the more advanced topics that has been introduced from this year into this Copilot Studio. So we'll cover up those as well into this training program. Okay, so this is what all about I'm talking about into today's class. But first of all, let me talk about the overall training that at the end of the training program, what you are going to get away. Because most of you, when you have inquired with us for this Copilot Studio training program, most of the time this is the schedule that you are getting with the different topics, right? Now let's talk about what exactly these topics are and what exactly you are getting to cover up at the end of the session, and then I'll open the stage for Q&A. If you have any question on the course content, I'm happy to clear this out for you. Okay, so without further delay, let's get started. So overall, there are 15 different sessions we are going to talk about into this whole training program over here. So training is divided into overall 15 different session. Overall 35 plus hours of curriculum is going to be covered into this training program. Okay, so let's talk about the session agenda in detail so you will get a better understanding around that. So in the very first class that you are at this point right now, so today is more about the introduction of the AI and Copilot class. So we'll talk about what we are going to talk about. We already discussed so far. Okay, so it's all about like AI Copilot, what kind of products are available, what kind of licenses are available over there, what is Copilot Studio, what are the use cases around that. All this we are going to cover up into the first episode, means today. From tomorrow onwards, we are going to start our journey with Copilot Studio and Agent. And I have divided that overall thing into two different parts, two different sessions. So first of all, we will talk about like what is agent. So most of the time nowadays we have heard this word a lot when we are talking about AI and Copilot, like Copilot agent, Copilot stuff, right? So what is agent? What are the key things you need to consider in your mind while you are building the agent? What are the basic terminology around that? What are the basics, like okay, what is topic, what are the different kind of variables you can create, what is adaptive card, how to create variable, how to create a flow, how to call your power automate flow. All those concepts we are going to cover up into class number 2 and 3. So 2 and 3 are the foundation classes where we are going to start the base terminology of Copilot Studio with agent, with topics, with different kind of element which are available like nodes, questions, adaptive card, variables, condition. So all those base we will going to talk about in class number 2 and 3. Again, this is 100% low code, so you don't need to write any kind of code here. It's just like a graphical user interface is provided. Based on that, you can build up your Copilot agent step by step. Okay, so class number 2 and 3 is all about that. Then in class number 4 and 5, we will talk about the knowledge bases in the Copilot agent. Now, what is knowledge base? So most of the time you have observed in many of the website nowadays, whenever you open the popular website like Amazon.com or Flipkart, or maybe if you are opening Netflix, or maybe if you are opening the banking website like SBI website, or let's say any private sector banking website, right? Every website nowadays are having the chat agent. Okay, even if you are talking about the Microsoft support system nowadays, when you raise any support ticket to Microsoft portal, right, most of the time they are having the uh, chatbot option available, so where you can chat with that particular chatbot, and there is no actual human behind the scene. It's just a matter that you ask the question, it look at the knowledge base, it find the answer, and it just give you the output, right? So what kind of knowledge bases are available when you are building the agent? Whether you can train it from your organizational data, whether you can train it from your databases, or whether you want to connect with some external third-party system. Okay, based on that, you can build some sort of agents for yourself. So we'll talk about the different knowledge bases inside the agent. We will try the different methodology that okay, how you can train your agent with public facing website or SharePoint or Dataverse or any custom data sources, how you can do that thing out. So that's something we are going to talk about in class number 4 and 5. Class number 6 is all we are going to talk about is how you can create the agent with SharePoint and Dataverse as a knowledge source. And why I would specifically cover up that point, because most of the times people who are working into Microsoft 365 space, SharePoint, Dataverse are the very popular data sources, and we need this kind of capability at many places in the real industry project. So specifically how to deal with these two data sources. Again, now SharePoint become more advanced, like they have their own Copilot natively integrated over there. Okay, but with Dataverse as well, we can easily connect with the centralized Copilot agent. So what are the other things which you can do it over here? We'll talk about that in class number 6. Then class number 7 and 8 is the very, very important, and again, like a very new concept introduced in 2025, which is autonomous agent. Now, what is autonomous agent? So we'll talk about that thing in detail, specifically like uh, many times, we require that nowadays we are hearing lots of news that okay, humans are replaced with the AI, and many autonomous tasks are done by the autonomous agent, no matter it's a reception job, or maybe it's a telecaller job, or maybe let's say for an example, people who are like providing the L1 support, right? All these jobs are replaced slowly with this kind of autonomous agent. And how this autonomous agent works, and it's again based on the trigger. So many times, many things are happening, like nowadays you have seen that many gym launch or maybe many hotel receptions, Generally, what happen here is many things, like someone sends the inquiry of the hotel booking. Earlier the thing was that receptionists will have the emails and they just reply to that email with whatever context the user has set up over there, right? Now those entire systems are automated with the help of autonomous agent, which means that okay, you don't need even human to understand the context. It automatically understand as soon as any new email arrives. It just draft that whole email and it just send it out over there automatically, okay, without any human interaction. There are many different use cases around that. We'll talk about that during that particular time, during the autonomous agent part. So class number 7 and 8 is all about autonomous agent. Okay. And then we'll talk about in class number 9 specifically, like different type of integration with Copilot Studio. Like we'll talk about the Power Automate and custom connector integration. Many times you have a situation like not only just out of the box connector, but sometimes you have a situation that okay, you are creating autonomous agent, right? But your autonomous agent needs some sort of understanding, which should get the data from third party API via some sort of REST call, okay, and need to do some sort of calculation and need to send out to the user. Let's say I'm just giving the example at the very high level here that okay, someone is emailing me that okay, give me the overall. Let's say for an example, I need a quotation for different tools which I'm purchasing from your website. I want to purchase in the bulk and give me the price in a Chinese yuan, or maybe give me the prices in the Indian rupees, or give me the prices into euro, right? Now, what happen is generally in your databases, the prices are in US dollar. Now, whenever this person is requesting, you need to understand the context that in which currency the person is asking for a pricing, right? At the time, okay, whatever the live currency rate is, that you need to find out somewhere from the internet or find out some sort of API, and then you need to connect it out. So how you can do that whole thing out, that's something you can do it with the help of this kind of integration with your autonomous agent. So that's something we are going to talk about over here. All right. After that, we'll talk about another interesting terminology, which is again start popular from this March onwards, agentic flow. Now, what is agentic flow? What are the use cases around that? What is the agentic flows licensing model? We'll talk about that. Right now, I'm not want to put too much light onto that particular part, but agent flow is completely new type of thing. It's similar like Power Automate, but not exact Power Automate. Again, you can convert your Power Automate to agent flow and agent flow to Power Automate. That is still doable. But what exactly it is, what is the thought process around that, that Microsoft has introduced agent flow in the Copilot Studio? What are the significance on that? We'll talk about all of those things in detail in class number 10 for agent flow in detail. Okay. Then we'll talk about in class number 11 all about some advanced topic, like okay, in whenever you are building the different agent, at the time we have a situation that okay, some of the agent you are building, it has some common factor. So how you can componentize it means that okay, you can create some common structure for common agent and use it at multiple places. For that some for that some terminologies are being used into the Copilot Studio, like component collection. How you can deal with that, we'll talk about that. Also, we'll talk about how you can create multilingual agent. Many times there is a need that your customer do not understand just in English, but they want something in French, or maybe they need something into Portuguese. So how you can create multilingual agent so that it can reply into multiple language. We'll talk about that as well in class number 11. Okay. Then class number 12 is all about the security and distribution. So of course, when you are building the agent and when you are ready to go live with your agent, and at the time many different things come up into picture that okay, it should be secure, it should have proper authentication enabled, it should not just or give the data, I mean, give the result from sensitive documents and all. So all those aspects that okay, Copilot Studio security, how you can share your Copilot agent, how you can manage the different kind of inactivity, all these topics we are going to talk about into class number 12. Okay. Also, we'll talk about that, okay, how you can deploy your agent as well. So sometimes we need to, once we build that, okay, how the deployment of that agent will happen, like development to UAT and UAT to production. We'll talk about that aspect as well in detail. Okay. Someone's mic is on. Make sure your mic is turned off, please, so it will not disturb other. Okay, next we will talk about uh, Copilot Studios new advanced capability called MCP server. Now, what is MCP server? So basically, MCP is called as a model context protocol. Now, this is a new concept which is recently been introduced over there. Now, you know how we are having HTTP? HTTP is what is web-based protocol, right? So people are hosting the website on HTTP protocol, right? Same way for AI-based model, MCP means model context protocol. It's like a similar like your HTTP where it's like a community kind of thing where you can host your own AI model, and you know if someone has hosted the AI model at one place and you want to utilize that AI model into your Copilot Studio, you can do it. It's like it's open lots of opportunities over here. So again, it's not like full-fledged at this point into Copilot Studio, but again, use cases are amazing around that. So specifically in this batch, we are introducing that MCP server as well, that okay, what exactly MCP server is, how you can get started with utilizing the MCP server into Copilot Studio, and what are the use cases you can solve with that. We'll talk about that in this particular class number 13. Okay. Class number 14 and 15 is all about security based practices and integration with the Power Apps. Again, like when we are working with this kind of AI in Copilot thing, we need to think about most of the things like, okay, your sensitive data should not go outside of your organization. So for that, different kind of DLP policies are available. What is responsible AI, which you need to consider when you are rolling it out at the organizational level? What are the audit log capabilities available with the Purview, and what kind of logs you can maintain with the different kind of Azure Insights and all with Copilot Studio. We'll talk about that in detail in class number 14. And class number 15 is all about uh, as I said, like different kind of audit logs and different kind of conversation logs, and all of those we'll talk about into class number 15. Okay, so it's all about administration, security, integration, and different kind of logging of Copilot Studio. Okay, so that's overall 15 class journey we are going to start from today onwards. Okay, so this is the end-to-end curriculum, and in this entire training program we are going to cover up different use cases, and of course like in every class you will create the different Copilot agent over here with me on the class. So again, let's fully low code, and at least at the end you will get an idea that okay, what level of customization you can do it over here with this product. Again, in this product couple of features are still in the preview, but still we are going to utilize that, so at least you will understand that okay, how many of things are useful for the your production purpose, and you can think by your own as well that okay, where can I utilize this process, or where can I utilize this use case for my actual industry project. Okay, so that's the overall agenda that I'm going to cover in the next 15 different classes over here. All right, now I would like to pause here for a moment. If anyone has any question, maybe just raise your hand over here. I will introduce your name, and then you can just unmute yourself and ask your question. Okay, so if anyone has any question on this overall course content, I'm happy to answer it out, and that will let it to be cleared it out right now. All right, so the stage is open for Q&A. I can see first raise hand from Javid. You have a question?
Yeah. Yes, can you again say what is MCP? Can you just say again, please?
It is called as a model context protocol.
Model
MCP,
context.
model context protocol. Yeah, it's like similar like how we are having HTTP protocol with any website. Similar way, it's a AI based model. Your AI models are hosted. So generally, the idea here is to adopt more and more models directly within the Copilot Studio. And again, it's a very popular terminology since last 3 4 months. It's just booming on the internet. So it's all about that. So we'll talk about that in detail into that particular class.
Okay, so you said it is just introduced about this year?
Yes, yes, of
Oh, no.
course. MCP is
Okay.
introduced just this year. Yeah,
Okay, no,
earlier
no,
it
I'm
was not there.
just asking because I never heard of it. Good.
Yeah, of course. You shouldn't, because I have even heard this word around 3 4 months. Even when we finished our first Copilot batch in January, at that time as well, there was no MCP server concept. This concept, MCP concept, was there from a year. I mean, from 1 year, as far as I know. But in specifically the Copilot terminology, it's been just like a 3 4 months they have. And again, there are very less use cases at this point. But yeah, at least you should know that what exactly it is. Again, when it become more mature, you can solve more and more problem with this.
All right, thanks, Rubin.
All right, perfect. I can see reason from Anand.
Hi, Drubin. Drubin.
Yes.
Drubin, I want to understand one thing, that we will be getting the Microsoft Learning links of all the topics which we will be covering. Like, let's suppose in the real world scenario, we read, right, that
Uh-huh.
sometimes this is not working, or some new feature is getting added, and new other feature is getting disregarded, like retiring. So the links of the Microsoft Learn of each and everything we will be getting.
So look, Microsoft Learn link. I'm personally don't big fan of Microsoft Learn path a lot. Generally, I'm just keeping an eye on the YouTube videos which are published by most of the content creator, as well as I'm following some of the Microsoft blog on Twitter account. From there, you can get always the latest information. Okay, of course, like reference links are always there. Of course, like whenever you will get a guide for each class, at the end, I have the referencing section over there. You will get the link, but not like all the topics, because most of the things, again, if you go with the Microsoft Learn path, sometimes it's more confusing, like big documentation up. Again, from that documentation, hardly 1% of information is being useful. So whichever thing is required, at least at the very high level, that okay, this is where you should refer this, or maybe this is changeable. Of course, all those links I have provided in my all the hands-on lab from upcoming classes.
Yeah, so means like there is some guide material also along with the recordings.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Okay, thank you
Yes.
so much. Yeah.
Yep. Every class has a guide, specifically the use case guide and reference guide. So yeah, each class will have that Word file, PDF file as well with you, where you have this all the notes option. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah.
Perfect. Next, I can see raise hand from Shashank.
Hi, sir. Myself
Yes.
Shashank. So I wanted to ask you, so is there any use case where I can connect knowledge as a DB, Azure SQL, and I
Yes.
can uh, query it as a self-service and give it to your end user? And even though I tried in a some basic way, it is not giving the accurate answer. If that thing added here, that will be very helpful as a
It
use
is
case.
already there here. We are going to connect the Azure SQL as a data source into this
Oh, okay.
particular class. Also, the thing is that the thing that you are talking about, that it is not able to answer certain questions. So, honestly, the thing is that on that node, you and I don't have control on that, because ultimately it's a Microsoft product, right? So how behind the scenes model works, it's totally based on that. So what level of maximum customization you can do it over there, that's something definitely we are going to cover. But again, if product is unable to handle this thing out, then you and me, we can't really do much on that part. But at least yes, that Azure SQL is one of the case study in the knowledge bases that I already have in this particular curriculum. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, perfect. Next, I can see raise hand from Anil.
Hey, hi, Dhruvin.
Yes.
Good evening. So, just wanted to ask you, like Power BI has the, the monthly updates, right? So they are going to release the features, new features,
Yes.
and some of the features are in preview. So, is there any frequency for this Copilot Studio on monthly basis or quarterly or something?
No, they don't have any such frequency. They are just rolling it out and just making a blog post. It's very random nowadays. But what they are doing is, in a monthly summary, they are just summarizing it into one blog that they are posting usually on their official Microsoft blog site. But again, like there is no such like on this date only they are rolling out everything. It's very random. Like similar like Power Apps and Power Automate, there is no such release cycle they follow. So same way in the Copilot Studio as well, it's like that. Why Power BI is so up to date because it's a different product team, and this Power Platform is a different product team. So, that's the reason why they are having this different stuff. But yeah, I mean, they are rolling at any instance of time, basically.
Got it. So another question is, do we need to install any prerequisite softwares in our laptop
So
this entire
for
program?
this, we don't require any software, any skill set. It's just online cloud-based Power Platform. That's it. Nothing else you required for this. No code base, nothing.
Just now you spoke about Azure SQL. Do we need
So
to?
yeah, Azure SQL is again cloud-based, right? So it's like uh, you need a Azure subscription and your database is already Azure. So if you talk about on that context, right? So we are going to use SharePoint knowledge source, Dataverse knowledge source, right? So those tables are required, right, as a part of the practice. So of course, whenever it's possible, I'll provide the schema or table structure, so you can just import it in your server and use it out. So a maximum SharePoint Dataverse use cases you can be able to perform it. Azure SQL, if you have Azure subscription, you will be able to perform it out. But at least on the class, I have all these subscriptions, so at least you will be able to see the process overall. Okay,
Great. Thanks, Dhruv.
perfect. Next, I can see raise hand from Neha.
Yeah, hi all. So my question is, are we going to have the test scenarios or the scenarios based on some of the modules also related to the Copilot, or is it more of the defined structure that
So
we just have?
case scenario means what do you mean by that?
Like, what I mean to say that the like obviously the Copilot is introduced in the different modules such as the sales, marketing, and everything. So are we going to touch those also? Is it like, or is it the structure that you are
So
just
look,
presenting?
so look, this is like the thing that we are building here. It's completely custom Copilot agent. Okay, it can be integrated anywhere. So it can
Okay,
be there are different platforms available. If you want to integrate within the Teams, or if you integrate within the SharePoint, or if you want to integrate within your website, you can integrate that. So all of these things, like okay, publishing your agent to different channels. Of course, that's something we are going to cover up in detail. That okay, once it is ready, how you can integrate with the other product set. So yes, that part will be covered up over here. But again, it's your own Copilot agent. It's not like any out of the box Copilot which is available with a different product. Okay,
okay, okay, thank you.
perfect. Next, I can see raise hand from Shubham.
Yeah, hi, Dravin.
Yes,
So, Dravin, just I wanted to know, like, do we require any license to run this Copilot
yes.
in?
Nothing is free in the world of Microsoft. That is always my statement. Uh, no, even the single service you can't run without license. This entire product is a license base. So what exact license required? Of course, I'm going to talk about in class number 3 in detail. But yes, you require a license. This is nothing free here. To again, like very limited capability is free, which is nothing to do with AI. You can just create normal conversation chatbot without any license. But when it comes to actual AI, you require the license basically.
Okay, thank you, Dravin.
All right, perfect. Next, I can see raise hand from Nilesh.
Yeah, hi Dhruvin. Good afternoon.
Yes,
Yeah, I just wanted to ask regarding the recording sessions.
yes. Yeah. So what's your question on the recordings? Sorry. I mean, any specific recordings will be provided to each and every one of you after the class finishes.
Yeah, so
So
so sorry, I got muted. So my question is like I have two personal laptops and one office laptop. So it's not a problem, right? Means on any laptop I can open the recordings, right? Or it is specific to some any laptop. It is like that.
you can open into anyone. I mean,
Ah,
it's a link that is tied to your registered email address. That's it.
mhm.
So you just
Okay,
need to enter your email address. It will give you the code. You just enter your code and it will just open that up for you.
okay,
Nothing.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, okay. Thanks.
perfect. Next, I can see raise hand from Srilekha.
Hi, Dhruvin. Good,
Yes.
sorry, good evening. So we need any a workflow knowledge on this, like cloud workflows as a prerequisite?
Very basic knowledge. It's not like
Okay.
100% knowledge you required on that.
Okay.
It is good. Generally, if you know the Power Automate, you can adapt it easily. But again, I mean, we are going to use Power Automate less into this overall program. But yeah, basic Power Platform knowledge, like that's something which is necessary. If you don't know, even if you follow my steps, you will be able to do it out. No such issues on that.
Sure. Thank you.
Perfect. Perfect. Great. All right. I don't see any more raised hand right now. I covered up almost every question. Or if you don't want to unmute, or if you just want to ask a question in the chat window, I'm happy to check that as well. Feel free to provide your question in the chat window as well. Okay. I do not see any more raised hands, so I think we are good for the question. Maybe just give me some reactions in the Teams chat that at least so far everyone is following with me. Maybe just give me some sort of thumbs up or some reactions from the Teams chat. Okay. Perfect. All good. Now we'll go one more level up from here where we are actually starting our AI journey. That what exactly AI is. What, we have heard a lot about artificial intelligence and all, right? So what exactly it does and what you can achieve with the help of AI. Let's talk about that in detail over here. So the very first thing which I want to talk here is AI. AI simply form is artificial intelligence. Basically, it refers to machines programmed to think, learn, and act like a human. So basically, it is designed in a fashion that it need to mimic the human actions, how human are performing the task. We are training the model in a fashion that think like a human and perform those repetitive tasks that makes the human life easier. Okay, so basically it involves the task like problem solving, learning, and decision making with artificial intelligence. So it's like a brain of your body, right? So you are training your brain. Just think AI in this fashion. You know, whenever a newborn child is born in the world, basically their parents are training them so that they can survive with the world. They can learn the different thing, and it reflect into their behavior, right? So what as a newborn child parent usually do, they teach each and everything to the child, right? They teach them that how to crawl, how to stand up, how to make the progress, how to speak, right? They are teaching them alphabets, they are teaching them what is this fruit, what are these veggies, they are teaching them colors, they are teaching them month names, a day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? Because they don't know, it's like a blank mind when a new child is born, right? AI is similar like that. What happen here is like without training, AI models are useless. Okay, so it's like a newborn child, as I said, like their parents are feeding the data into that, means that they're teaching them, they're training them, right? And once they are trained, they are enough capable to survive with the scenarios, like life scenario, life lessons, right? Now just imagine that child has grown up, right? They are going into 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, right? Their brain is trained a lot from years. They are keep adopting the new things in their mind day by day basis, and they self learn and enough capable to make the decision by their own, and survive into the life, right? Similar like AI as well, like behind the scene there are so many elements involved, like machine learning, which means that it's a teaching phase of the AI, which means that you need to train your model first, which means that you need to feed the information. How does AI know that, okay, this is the white color which Dhruvin has wear? How does AI know that, okay, if I'm smiling or if I'm crying or if I'm doing some hand action, how does my AI know that this is what it is doing done, right? So you are basically teaching that emotions, you are teaching the different data. I mean, so many parameters are used in order to train your model, and that terminology is called as a machine learning, which means that you are teaching your machine from certain set of data. So machine learning is one of the key element of the AI model. Second is natural language processing, which means that, okay, how does, as a child, when parents are training them, right? How does child understand the psychology of a human, or maybe how they can understand that language, right? People can ask, if child is grown up in US, their parents teach them English language, right? person who is born in India, probably let's say in Gujarat, let's say their parents are talking to them in Gujarati language, or maybe if we are from the southern part, South India has so many different languages, so child has been getting the initial education in that own language, own processing of the language, right? So similar way, like this AI model also behave the same, like okay, in which language your model, natural language processing. So your model is enough capable to understand that what kind of context is user is asking, which means that it is able to understand the natural language, right? So that is also again very key important part of the any AI model. So natural language processing, understand and generating the human language. That generating a human language as well as understanding the human language, right? Nowadays you have seen that okay, you have the smart TV and you have that smart remote as well with you, right? So when you tell that okay, Alexa, turn on the Netflix or turn on the any other OTT platform. Nowadays it supports the multi-language capability, that okay, if you are speaking something in Hindi or speaking anything into other language, it also understand that. So any language as well as the way you are talking, right? Sometimes you are just using some short form, right? Like okay, when you are asking something to your chat GPT that okay, I'm feeling very FOMO of not learning the AI, can you help me into that? Now what is FOMO? FOMO, right? It's a Gen Z keyword which is calling out as a okay, fear of missing out, right? Now how does that AI knows? You just use that natural phrase, but AI is understanding that, and it is responding to that. So that is called as a natural language processing. Okay. Another part which is very important in any AI model is computer vision. Computer vision means what? Computer vision means, let's say for an example, like how does you have seen many application nowadays in the market. You click the photograph and it will just understand that okay, whether this style is proper or whether this interface is proper, right? It just analyze that surface and give you the result on top of that. Let's say for an example, I'm going for a function, I just wear some cloth, and let's say I'm taking a picture of mine, I'm just uploading to ChatGPT. I'm just saying that okay, rate my style statement over there, or maybe just give me some better color combination for marriage function. Let's say for an example, it will analyze that picture. It will tell you exactly that okay, you wear this blazer, you wear this black color, you just wear the white color, this contrast is not suitable. So how does it understand this, right? So behind the scene is uses that computer vision capability, that okay, understand the overall visual data and see what exactly it is telling to you. Okay, many times you have seen that many software, like okay, when I'm speaking, let's say on Teams, hopefully in Teams it should never come up as a capability, but nowadays many video software, like when you are speaking to a person, it will recognize their facial expression and tell that how many in the stress you are in at this point, are you really thinking a lot, or there is something else going into your mind, right? So behind the scene, this computer vision capability is analyzing this everything faster. CCTV footage analysis. Many metro cities have CCTV footage, and they just capture those car numbers and just sending out the automatic memo if you break any traffic rules, right? So what is all about that? Behind the scene, it uses this whole visual data processing capability with the computer vision and robotics. So again, it's perform the actual physical task. Now, what exactly do we mean by robotics with this whole AI context? Let's see. Many times in the health industries, you have used this word a lot, robotic surgeries, right? So robotic surgeries, what exactly it is? So nowadays, it's not replacing the human, but it is making the life easier. Nowadays, many operations in the health industries are done by the robots, which is more accurate even the human, right? So many laparoscopy operation, as well as many different stuff where robots can be a very integral part, and it just perfectly do it task, and help in lots of other way. Just imagine, there are so many use cases around that, which probably you have seen on some YouTube, Instagram, or some of the social media platforms. Like nowadays this concept is also very popular, that okay, sometimes robotic arms. So what this robotic arm is, this is very popular term. It useful into many different spaces. People who are handicapped, they cannot perform some hand movement by their own. So scientists have developed the robotic arm which uses the AI, natural language, computer vision, all this capability into that hand. So even the disabled person now have the same like human hand capability with the robotic arms. Again, it is helpful in so many other activities. Like nowadays, in many on-site projects, this AI capability is useful. Like, okay, there are some wiring going between two places, and let's say wiring is broken in between, right? To fix that, instead of humans, robots are taking that job. If you are looking up the big warehouse of Amazon or big warehouse of Flipkart, their warehouses are having the robots. They have the inventory placed at the different places. When the order is placed, robot is completely do that packaging, completely do this whole automation, right? So this is also the base, one of the best example of the robotics. So what are the main key components of the AI is teaching the model, understand the natural languages, visualize the data using computer vision, and perform the task of using the robotics technology. Okay, so these are the main key component of the AI at the very high level. We just need to understand how it come up with. Okay, now this can be used at the so many different places. There are so many use cases around that. As I said, in many healthcare domains, AI is drastically used nowadays. Just imagine, doctors are always based, I mean, always we require human age, a human touch. I'm not saying that humans are replaced with the AI. That's not going to happen like 100%, at least for next 1 decade for sure, because we humans are very sensitive. We love emotions. We don't like someone is speaking into just like a robotic language to us, right? We always like that, okay, you feel the emotion, you are just talking to me the way I am, right? That part is always missing in the AI. Nowadays, ChatGPT, when you have sad day, and when you are chatting with the ChatGPT that okay, I'm feeling sad and all, it just give you grief, which means that it just give you the positive things about you. It will never talk negative about you, right? But when we are talking about the actual humans, right, we are not always be ourselves, in a so positive, and sometimes so positive things even harm you, right? So we always require the human touch, no matter in which industry you are. If you are in medical, or if you are in teaching, or if you are in coding, right now, AI is powerful. I can say it is far intelligent than human, but still human touch is required, because still it is unable to understand few things. When it become accurate, obviously some sort of job will definitely be replaced by the AI, but it's not like it's 100% replacement of the human. Recently, I have heard some of the news from one of the foreign company, who in the hotel they replaced some of the human with the AI, and AI was good, but the customers are not happy with the AI, because we human love face-to-face communication, right? And AI, or maybe with robots, you will always missing that thing out. For you, it's just a object, right? So you will not feel that particular connection over there. So of course, at the time they replace the humans by AI, and then they replace AI by human. So this kind of situations are also happening into the world. Right now, we are all going through this experimental phases of AI, where different organizations and industries are trying. And I'm saying that, okay, when you are working with human and AI together, it will give you fruitful result. But if you are okay saying that, okay, replace this human with this AI, no, that's a wrong decision sometimes, because it cannot do everything that you are telling to it. Okay, so it's like that. So again, like so many, all the industry, like healthcare industry, finance industry, transportation industry, customer service, everywhere this AI is taking its place. Many different roles, like okay, L1 support for any customer service nowadays are happening with the AI. So what happen is, when you are calling to any customer agent, even that IVR has different language option and all, it will automatically create the transcript. It will, sometimes you are connecting to the human agent, it automatically send the transcript to the red. So it always make the life easier. I still remember the days when around 10 years back, when I joined this industry. So sometimes what happens is, when we are working with a different customer, at the time, we are listening their teams meeting invite multiple times to just take a notes. Just imagine now, I'm just thinking that okay, those were around 5 7 years back. We are charging almost like 40 50 hours monthly just to analyze the meeting notes, right? Now just imagine with this AI, it just make it 5 minutes task. You upload your transcript, it just give me the meeting notes, everything done. You don't need to go through recording one by one every time, right? So this kind of thing definitely is useful and saving lots of our time. It is making productivity. Nowadays, like, okay, I'm content creator, I'm making lots of content on YouTube. Now, as a content creator, we also have a fear that, okay, with AI, no one is going to watch our video, and everyone is just using ChatGPT, and they just find an answer. But no, that's not a solution. Like, still, I'm still creating a content, but now we adopted AI to create our content. Like, okay, so now whatever time I was spending on my editing, whatever time I was spending on my content writing, right, that become easier for me. So I can focus more on the quality content rather than this minor tasks. So that become so advanced nowadays with the help of AI. In healthcare, if we talk about, like, doctor has a limited knowledge sometimes. They have handled, let's say, in their career, like 1,000 cases or 2,000 cases. They don't know the whole knowledge base of the data, or a different data point which is happening across the global level, or at that state level, or that country level. With these AI models, right, sometimes to understand that report, maybe if doctor is also having some problem to for understanding, they can utilize the AI application to make the life simpler, and probably it is giving the more accurate result over there. So this kind of stuff is a boon for the stuff. I still remember, like, when COVID happened and many companies are creating the vaccines for the COVID, right? There are different drug combination that they are trying, that okay, this, and whether it is making the successful vaccine or not. Just imagine those, all the research area now become so easy with the help of AI, where this type of combination, permutation, all these things becoming deep researching becomes so easy with the help of AI, and it saves lots of time, and we can do more innovation with the help of AI. So it's not just replacing human, it's not a debate. It's like how to make the human life much more better with the AI. That's the thing. It's not like just writing your content, but it's like, okay, if you need sometimes in a sudden way, you will get a better content. Nowadays, I remember like 5 days back what email I was writing versus now I'm writing. I'm much happy with the current version of my email that I'm providing to my customer. Even they feel happy about it, right? So this is where we need to use human brain as well as AI brain together to get the fruitful result into the industry. Okay, many transportation companies nowadays are working on the driverless car project, specifically in the Germany, US. The pilots are already been launched, and you have the driverless car concept. In India, yes, we don't have such concept, but at least people are working on those technologies, right? Aviation industry is using also AI a lot in automatic Copilot. So actually this word is coming from that industry only, like pilot, and Copilot means it's helping that pilot in autopilot mode, right? So all of these things which is done with the help of AI. Okay, these are just few use cases. I'm just talking about it very high level. Now, let's talk about, like, we have heard a lot about AI. We learn what it can do versus not, but how it start becoming popular, right? Now, just 2 years back in 2022, Open AI has started becoming popular. They just launched ChatGPT first, and from that, everyone is trying. And within couple of hours, their site was blocked, and there was limited capability to do with the ChatGPT and all. That was whole era which has started. So the question arises that, okay, is it something which is suddenly come up into the market, or behind the scene there is a huge thought process that Microsoft has, and Microsoft OpenAI or any AI startup has, and that is how it evolved. So now let's talk about that. So OpenAI is started as a non-profit organization, and nowadays it become as a profitable company. Again, like, they changed the name as well. Earlier it was open source. Now they are an OpenAI LLP. They just add LLP word in the form of the name as well. Okay, so the vision was very large, and again, OpenAI was not just started 2 3 years back. It was started 10 years back, where at the time we all are working in the classic SharePoint, and at the time this guys has that vision to build up this whole AI models. So let's look at the overall history of the OpenAI and what are the key events of the OpenAI as a company. I'm just explaining this to you because it's not like a sudden. People are thinking of way behind. Now we are talking about in 2025. about AI, but these people have started working on the emotional intelligence, neuro intelligence, so many other type of intelligence as well already right now, maybe which will be popular maybe 10 years later. But behind the scene, the thought process is very deep here. Okay. So basically in 2015, December, OpenAI is focused by the Elon Musk, Sam Altman, and other to start with artificial intelligence benefits for the humanity. So they basically build this particular company. Now we know that not even Elon Musk is there into the OpenAI. Sam Altman is one of the CEO of the company. But again, like many founders just keep it away. Elon Musk is now building his own AI model with the X, specifically the Brad model, right? So they founded in 2015. In 2019 February, they announced GPT version 2, a language model capability to generating a human-like text. So again, like it's a very base version with GPT-2 they introduced in 2019. Again, at the time they don't productize that, or it's not available like to utilize at this point in 2019. It's more on the experimental basis. So GPT-2 is the purpose of that is okay, create some content in the natural language, but it was not that accurate that we are having right now. Okay, then in 2019, this is what a key game changer part over come up over here. So in July 29, they have received $1 billion of funding from the Microsoft to make the AI model much more better. And it just come up with a profit model with a partner. So when it founded, it was non-profit. From 2019 onwards, they start getting in funding and they are marching towards the race of profitability. Okay, so July 2019, they received the funding from Microsoft. In 2020, what happened is they released the first powerful model, GPT-3, with language model with 175 billion parameter. Now, what is parameter, which we will talk about in a while. Okay, but it was much powerful than the GPT-2 version because obviously when we are talking about this AI model, it occupies so many resources, so many money in order to make the AI model much more better. Because obviously you need to teach something to your child, right? It's something that you are feeding into your model, right? Just imagine like from your born till today, how much money you spend yourself on learning part, right? So much money you spend, right? So many things you have learned in when you were in college or when you were in schooling, so many subjects you learn, right? Just imagine how many billions of parameter you have in your mind right now. Just imagine those words, just imagine those textbooks, just imagine how much skills, how many skills you need learn. You know, when you are watching a movie, you learn some new words, or you remember those stories. So right, so this is like a parameters in your brain with you are training yourself. Similar way, AI models require the training with some sort of parameters or some sort of knowledge. Okay, so June 2020 was all about GPT-3. In 2021, they introduced Dell E model that generate images from the text. So again, at that time also it become uh, come up into the highlight where you make a prompt that okay, I need I need rainbow with rain and maybe some natural language picture. So it just generate the pictures based on the text description. So they launched the Dell E model in 2021. Okay, still it was not popular at that time. Okay, it just few things, and at the time, some AI updates are coming up. We are not taking into too much consideration because at the time it was not popular. It start becoming popular from this events now. Now let's talk about that. In 2022, OpenAI launches ChatGPT, and this is what the turning point for the ChatGPT. And they launched their first model of ChatGPT based on GPT 3.5 model, which is like a more powerful because they didn't launch the product with GPT-2 or GPT-3 that they have earlier, but they come up with a new model, GPT 3.5. Again, when it launched, within few days, few hours, it crashed just because of very high usage on that server, and they just limited the capability that in a day you can make only this much of calls, and there was whole waiting list to join the chat gpt. I still remember that days that my application was, I have 2 3 accounts, and we were so excited to use this whole technology and it was so powerful. Okay, then In 2023, Microsoft announced another round of funding to the ChatGPT, which is again another multi-billion-dollar investment to OpenAI. So they earlier in 2019 they received the first round of funding. This is the second round of funding that they get in 2023. And why Microsoft is providing this funding? Because Microsoft models, which we will talk about in the later slides, they are depending on the OpenAI. So they have a huge investment into this particular company. Okay, and after that, there are so powerful model journeys starting here. GPT-4, which is even more powerful capability. Then in July 2023, they launches some super intelligence human value projects. Then they have launched in 2024 like text to video Sora capability. If you have heard about SORA in ChatGPT, which is available nowadays, okay, so that Sora was introduced in February 2024, where you can just provide the content, it will create a video for it. Again, in till date as well, it's not. I'm not too much happy with its result, but it's good. Many people have created so many animated movies with Sora, and earlier, like Hollywood productions need to spend billions of dollars to create those animated effects, and now this Sora model can do it just few clicks, save lots of money over there. Again, it's a costly, but still it's very powerful technology, and in future let's see what else they come up with. So 2024 they come up with the Sora model. Then in 2024 was a a benchmark year for OpenAI, and they started the partnership with Reddit and Apple, and they started utilizing this technology. Maybe in the future they are aiming the hardware industry as well. So in new Apple phones, the M1 chip that is very popular in specifically the MacBooks. So it is also going to be utilize some native AI capability. So they are also working on the hardware part as well. I have seen some news on the internet around that. They are already on that. So as I said, like 2024 is all about like Reddit integration. So entire Reddit platform's knowledge base, they train with the AI model. So it's more Reddit database is a very big database. So many questions, communities are there. So of course, it's had a partnership with that. It had partnership with Apple, and then in 2024 onwards, they started launching some O1 model. Now, what is O1 model? Which I'll talk about in a while. So, O1 model is more like a deep reasoning model. So, again, like specifically in many situations, you require a deep reasoning. Let's say, for an example, if you are appearing for any exam, like certification exam, or just if you have heard about this news, they have tested this O1 model in one of the toughest exam in the world, which is like a IQ based exam, and they just use this model to solve the questions for this particular exam, and it come up with the 70 to 80% of the accuracy. So for that deep reasoning where you required a lot of knowledge or brainstorming, it's not like a just easy to get an answer. You need to think a lot about it before you commit to commit to that, right? So those deep reasoning model they have started building in 2024 over here, and nowadays so many different deep reasoning models are also available, which we will talk about in a while. So actually we will see it, so you will get a better understanding around that. But this is all about like OpenAI as a company's main uh, history, that how they are marching towards how they started versus how they are at this point. Okay, now, okay, this is all you talk about the OpenAI, but what do we do with OpenAI? Because we are in the Microsoft space, right? So, what's the relationship between these two? Now, let's talk about that. What are the key events for Microsoft for this whole AI race? Okay, so Microsoft started its AI race with the funding of 2019 with $1 billion to the OpenAI. So that was its first funding round. And after that, what they started is till then, its GPT-3 model was already introduced. Okay. And what Microsoft started doing is they started making the licensing for GPT-3 model. So they started building the model as a base model. They introduced a different licensing on the Azure part. So if you want to utilize some sort of AI capability, you just need to follow for that. So basically, this licenses OpenAI's GPT-3 model exclusively. And then in 2023, they start launching the Bing Chat. Again, earlier Chrome was a popular browser. Nowadays, people started using Edge a lot because what happened here is this AI based, like AI search is natively integrated with the Bing chat. You know, if you are opening nowadays, let's say for an example, if I'm opening like a Edge browser over here on my screen, let's say I'm opening this out, okay? And let's say for an example, I'm just opening any article over here from MSN over here, okay? The Copilot is available over here as itself. Right, so open just Copilot, or maybe Copilot is available over here as well. Okay, and now if I'm saying that, okay, summarize this for me, okay, it just do this thing very quickly for me. You don't need to even read this whole articles. So this integration is very, very powerful. In Chrome right now, the extensions are available, but still this is giving you the more prominent result nowadays because of this native Bing integration. And the good thing about that, it's 100% free. Just you need a Microsoft, you just need to sign in with your Microsoft Live ID, and you don't need to pay even extra. All these capabilities available free. So again, this is a game changer where they introduce the Bing chat into the Bing and Edge. Okay, then specifically in 2023, they come up with the Copilot, and this is where the Ignite announcement was so drastically. Microsoft stock prices are increasing, and this is the first time the commercial AI launches into the market with M365 Copilot. So Copilot was available everywhere, like in your Word, in your Excel, in your PowerPoint, in your entire Office suite, wherever you see Power Apps, in your Dataverse, in your Dynamics 365, even in your Microsoft Visio, even in your even in Microsoft Paint as well, they have Copilot. Even in Windows 11, they have Copilot, right? So this has started from 2023 onwards, and that is again like started becoming more popular around that. Okay, then in 2023, again in May, so this is February and this is May. February they launched the Bing chat and age compatibility for the AI search result. That was limited capability. They announced it for few people, and now from May 4 onwards, it will be available for everyone without any additional cost. So this is again like a next set of move from Microsoft towards this technology. And again in 2023, they already introduced the M365 Copilot. And in 2023 September, so in March they announced, and in September it started available all in their product. And again, like they have started rebranding their entire product. Earlier it was called as a Office 365, then it is called as a M365 Copilot. Okay, and now it's like, okay, it's considered as your Copilot. I mean, when you open the Office homepage, it just treat as your Copilot homepage. So it's everything is enabled by AI, even your search, even your different menu option, even your previous result, everything is powered by it. Okay, so they started rebranding this whole element in 2023. And then in 2023 November onwards, it's become GA for the enterprise customer, and it come up with the specific licensing model, and also we'll talk about that in a while. But this is how the Microsoft journey looks like. In when they are in 2029, 2019, 2018, few minor AI features they were rolling out, and we are like, okay, it is going good. And suddenly from 2023, the sudden shift happened, and everywhere everything become AI and Copilot. And this is like a Satya Nadella's keynote when they initially launched on March 16, 2023, this whole Copilot. Copilot is a new UI for AI. So new UI means new user interface for artificial intelligence. So again and again, when I'm looking at that keynote word, it really uh, looks 100% accurate that okay, it's a new user interface for AI. And for that, in this game still Microsoft is on the top. And of course in competition there are so many other models available. Google has their own Gemini model, even Twitter has their own model, and so many other companies started building their own models as well for overall these things. Okay, but this is like a overall journey, overall journey for this Copilot. Okay, now let me just go to the next part over here where I just wanted to talk about that. Okay, we talked about the key events over here. Now let's talk about one more important aspect, that Okay, how at the hardware level as well they make a significant change. This is one short video I just wanted to play up over here. So even in the Windows computer, they have introduced the Copilot. So even right now on your Windows, this is like a latest computers which are available in the market. They have a dedicated Copilot key available in the keyboard itself. So when you press that particular key, you know how we are having the Windows icon in our laptops or computers in the older computer, but if you are having new one with the Microsoft, they have introduced Windows laptop specifically. They have introduced the Copilot key, dedicated key. So when you click on that key, by default, it just open up the Copilot interface, and you can just chat it out. This kind of interface will open, and you can just ask the question that you want, and it just answer it out. So again, Windows Copilot is again very powerful that they come up with this whole stuff. Okay, and even if I'm showing you this live right now, I have Windows 11. Let me just share my other screen which I have. So let me just stop sharing the screen and let me just reshare my screen with my other screen over here. So this is my other screen, and right now you can see here on my taskbar as well, I have this Copilot icon because I am running on my Windows 11. So when I'm clicking on that Copilot over here, it will just launch it out. Just a minute. Will take few seconds in order to launch as I'm doing the screen share, and it just launch it, and it just opened it out as well, but in my other computer. Just a minute. Let me just bring up that screen over here quickly. Okay, so this is what it open as a screen over here for me. It just open up this whole Copilot for me. Now you can simply start typing, and you can start getting your data the way you want. Again, like you just need to log in with your Windows account the way you are login, same way you need to log in with this Copilot. But this is available on your Windows computer as well, which is again very cool move towards the technology. Okay, so again, more, I mean, let's say in the future version of the Windows, Copilot will do lots of other activity for us as well. So this is like a game changer for us. Now, when we are talking about the Copilot, we have used this word GPT. Now, what do we exactly mean by chat GPT? We use the word chat GPT. So what is GPT? Let's try to understand that. And what are the different GPT models are there in the market? Let's explore that out as well. But before that, I would just like to ask here, just give me some sort of reactions. At least you have every one of in this class has used at least the chat GPT, or maybe use some AI platform in your day-to-day routine nowadays in order to make your life easier. Maybe just give me some reactions so at least I would understand that uh, any one of you just has used ChatGPT, and any just think about any AI tool if you have used in your life span so far. Maybe just give me some sort of reaction so at least I understand that how many of you have used it out. Okay, many of you have give me the reaction, so thanks a lot. Okay, so that is giving me that idea. All right, now let's try to understand what is GPT. So GPT means generative pre-trained transformer. Okay, this is the full form of GPT, generative pre-trained transformer. Now let's try to break this word out. What exactly do we mean by that? Okay, so GPT is one of the keyword which we must need to understand. And second word that is very popular in this whole AI space is LLM. Many times you have heard this word. It's LLM means what? LLM means large language model. Okay, developed by OpenAI and it's type of large language model used in natural language processing. Okay, now what do we mean by these two terms, GPT and LLM? Let's try to understand that. So first, let's talk about GPT, generative pre-trained transformer. Okay, now have you ever assumed that okay, when you are using ChatGPT or when you are using any kind of AI tool, how it is answering? How it is answering so accurately over there, right? So as I give you an example at the very beginning, when a new child is born, their parents are teaching them with some sort of data. We are train them to survive with the human environment, right? So similar way, this GPT means generative pre-trained transformer, right? It also been trained with some sort of knowledge, so it can able to answer you accurately. And accuracy is depending on how many parameters. Parameters is just think about in a fashion that okay, you are in class one studying, right? At that time you have three subject. In class two you have four subject. In class 3 you are having 5 subjects. When you reach to class 10 you are having 10 subjects, right? So when you have that capability of handling 10 subjects, because your training is done in a way that okay, you started with smaller block, and then you develop your mind in a fashion that now you are able to handle any situation in the life, right? So similar with this GPT model also come up into this fashion, that they are trained with the pre-trained data, which means that lots of data has been uploaded onto their servers in order to train the model. Now just imagine, right now when you are thinking, ever have you ever thinking that when you are asking to ChatGPT that okay, create this image for me or write this email for me, okay, behind the scene how many resources it is using? Let me tell you. When you are telling your ChatGPT to create any image, basically it uses half liter of water behind the scene. Again, it uses the electricity. Again, it uses behind the scene lots of server loads. When you look at their, you search on the internet about artificial intelligence rooms, you will get to know that how their servers are. Behind the scene, there is lots of hardware. Water is the key element. That's the reason why many people are, many environment protests are also happening with this AI technology, because it uses lots of water resources. Because to just cool down the server when you are making any prompt, you know it goes to the AI server, and their servers are so big, it because just imagine it trained with lots of parameter, so obviously lots of space is occupied on the hardware level. And when you are getting this information from the servers, it generates lots of heat, electricity, and to cool down that you need to require distilled water, even not regular water, to cool down that server. And lots of water bodies are getting used into that. If you remember that trend, that Ghibli trend was so popular on Instagram and YouTube couple of months back, where people are generating just a photo and it create that Ghiblish image for you. During that time, they have stopped after 2, 3 times, and at the time the tweet was, Sam Altman tweet was, our servers are melting. What do you mean by melting? It's that it uses so many environment resources to generate just one image. One image equal to half liter of water, which is consumed in order to generate that whole picture for you. Okay, although they are claiming that they are using the renewable resources, which means that they are having solar panels as for electricity, they are reutilizing the water bodies, they are having the special element to use the rainwater and everything. They are having all of these debates happening. Even Apple is building the whole eco cycle, I mean ecology park, where their entire artificial intelligence is not harming the nature. It uses all the renewable sources. Yeah, but again, this is the way giving you an idea. So when you make one query, behind the scene all of this effort is being taken by here. Okay, and again, to build those model itself, they have trained it with lots of knowledge sources. Okay, now let's start with a very base model over here. So GPT-1, when they initially started this journey in 2015, 2016, they trained this GPT-1 model with 117 million parameter. Now, parameter means that many of knowledge is being transferred to that model so that it can be trained. And when you ask it, it can be able to give you the proper answer from that. And to do this thing, how many days it takes? It takes 30 days on 8 P600 graphic card or 1 petaflop delay. So what do we mean by that? It takes 30 days to train this model. Just imagine 30 days to train this model. This is the official, official states here on Wikipedia. Just imagine developer has trained it multiple times, not just like 30 days it's trained, because it's back and forth error and error. How many times they have trained? No database in that. Just imagine 30 days, 24 by 7, the electricity, water resources, right? Imagine the cost to train the model, right? With 117 billion parameter. And basically they used book corpus in order to train their model to do that from unpublished books of various gens. Okay, so they used initially this book corpus to train their initial model. Then in GPT-2, they just use GPT-1 plus modified normalization. At that time, they use web text with 40 gigs of text, 8 million documents, just a minute, 8 million documents, 45 million web pages uploaded on Reddit. They trained with that. And it was released on February 14, 2019. And again, how many days it takes? You can see here the days. There is a specific terminology for that. So 1.5 multiplied by 10 raised to 21 flops. Again, if you want to go too much deep dive into it, you need to read the official Wikipedia documents. But just imagine that how long it is taking. Now, then they come up with the GPT-3, which is trained on 175 billion parameter. This is million, this is billion, and just imagine now this is billion of 175 billion, right? And see the days, how much days it is taking, and what kind of data it uses to train the model. It's just showing over here. Okay. Then for GPT 3.5, they have not disclosed their architecture. They're still saying 175 billion parameter. It's still undisclosed that what is being trained behind the scene, because this is the time where lots of controversies are happening as well into the market. At the time, different popular media houses just have so many court cases on the OpenAI because the way they are training their model, they are stealing the data. Harry Potter is a very popular book series. Their author has an official case filed into the US court against it, because without that permission, they scan this whole book, they train their model, and you are getting the way you want. Lots of Hollywood artists has in the protest at that time, because uh, with this model, many books, many niche content they have trained with this model, and they are thinking that their job is in scare because AI was writing the poems, AI was writing the script, everything. So it was the time, so they started disclosing couple of things, and by this time they are becoming non-profitable to profitable. So they started stop revealing the information in the public, and now in future as well there is no information. Official states are available on the internet and what they use behind the scene and all. Of course, they have their own white paper where they are claiming that we are not using any personal data, or we are not saving anything on the server and all. But yeah, this is how this whole journey has been started. Okay, and last information on official states are available as GPT-4, where they have trained with 1.7 trillion. Now from billion we reach to trillion. Okay, now just imagine whatever GPT model that is available right now in Chat GPT, it is trained on how many parameters? It's like a trillions and trillions of parameter, and it takes so much time as well in order to even train the model over there. Okay, so this is like a model behind the scene, and this parameter is like, just imagine that you know uh, how I'm giving the training you right now for this Copilot Studio. Similar way, this model, right? Again, as we are saying, like 117 million parameter. So of course, that level of content they have fed somewhere on the hard disk. Then they written some sort of script in order to, Python, or maybe what they have used behind the scene, we don't know. But they have used to train the brain, to teach the brain that, okay, it can give the accurate answer from it. Okay, so this is all about the GPT model. So nowadays we can see more real-time models. So when you ask anything on the Bing, it answers you automatically, right? So it's not happened suddenly. Behind the scene, it uses the whole web crawl in order to train that model again and again, again and again, and it giving you more accurate result. So many energy, so many resources are used in order for AI. So just when we are learning it, this factors always fascinates me. Like, okay, not just learning Copilot, but behind the scene how it works. At least you should have some idea. Now everything is available on your fingertip. But behind the scene it come up with some cost. Apple told that in the latest release that they have launched a new version of iOS, and it is going to use some AI capability, and due to that your battery drainage will happen 10% more than usual, right? Now what it come up with, because obviously when you have AI it require resources. So battery is one of the resource which your AI needs in order to give you the result into that fashion, right? So all of this thing is come up with some sort of cost, but again it makes life easier, right? So This is all about the GPT model. Now, GPT model story is not finished here. Okay, let me talk about now a little bit practical over here. Let me just open up my chat GPT over here so you will get an idea. Okay, so chat GPT again has the different versions of the different models. So whenever you open the chat GPT over here, right? So whenever you see chat GPT, when you look at this, you can see the different models available over here as well, like GPT-4o, O3 model, O4 mini model, O4 mini high model. And when you click on more models, you will be able to see some more models as well. Like, okay, currently GPT 4.5 also available, GPT 4.1 as well available, GPT 4.1 mini as well available. Now, what are these all model about and what is the best model over here? And in future, of course, this model will be changed because when they launch new model, right now you can see there is no GPT-3 model. But when we started the ChatGPT, it was initially ChatGPT 3.0 and 3.5. Okay, then slowly they are having 4.0. But nowadays, like with Plus model, you are always having 4.0 capability, which is doing amazing work over there. Now, what do we mean by these models? Let's just take a quick tour around that. Okay, so I have some slides and I have some official documentation as well where you can read if you are more interested into it. Okay, so basically, let me just first talk about the very popular model, which is O series model. So they are having first is like GPT model, like GPT 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5, right? Now GPT O model. Now what is O model? So O model is basically designed for solving the complex business problem. It's basically useful for research, strategy, coding, math, and science kind of problem. Okay, that's the reason when you are using ChatGPT Plus, most of the time default model is GPT-4o because it is doing that entire activity for you. So it can, when you ask it question, it just answer it out. If you provide some math problem, it is solving that out as well, which is coming with around 90 to 95% of accuracy most of the time, right? And GPT-4o is still based for most of the prompts, and over model provide the additional value for the deep reasoning. Okay, so when you are asking the question, it understand that natural language, it understand the context, it understand the previous conversation, and based on that, it answers you. Right now, whatever Instagram posts that you have seen on my feed, on my official Instagram page, whichever posts that we are building right now, it's all with 4o model. Okay, we just gives the prompt that okay, we need training poster for 1 day to go, 2 days to go, and we are just posting it out, right? So all of those are created with the, we are not even now using Canva kind of UI. We just use AI prompts to build those model, and it does amazing job over there. Okay, so again, this is like just an idea that what O1 model can do. So this is next generation of the model. Okay, now what is the power of O model come up with the GPT? Okay, so GPT-O models always come up with the any context. So it can understand your text, it can understand your image, it can understand your voice. So it come up with so many different capabilities. So even right now, if you are opening just this chat GPT over here, okay, and let's say for an example, if I'm going here, it has this voice capability over here. So if I'm just opening this voice option, it just asks me to, uh, give me here that allow visiting site. I just allow microphone, and now you can see that it's being recorded. And now I'm just asking one question to my chat GPT that, okay, chat GPT, tell me that how many O model you are having right now with you, and what is the significance of GPT-4o model? And now I'm hitting this enter key over here. And now what it will do is it will just understand this whole thing. It converted it out and it will start answering me now because it's a 4o model. It understand your voice. It understand, let's say if I'm uploading any image over here and if I'm saying that, okay, give me some result from it, it will give me the result from that as well. Okay, so this is all about 4o model. It understand voice to voice communication. It supports multi-language as well. Okay, so let's say even if I'm saying that, can you please translate it in let's say French, although I don't know French, it will start translating that as well. See, it simply translates this whole thing into French as well. So multi-language capability is also available over here. Again, context length, we don't need to worry about that. It's more like a code base. People who are using API, 128 K tokens with an output of 4096 and later update on 16384. So it's depending on the length of the answer, that how big length the answer it is giving to you. So it just showing that length over here. And again, you can have the latest information from the internet. Earlier, the previous model of the GPT are like outdated model, like they are not working with the real search. So let's say it will give you the result which was trained before 2020 on that model. Okay, but nowadays these O models are like live models, so it will give you even the live data from the internet. So it will give you that information as well with 4O model. Okay, now this is all about 4O model. Now let me talk about one more thing, that they come up with one more model, GPT 4.5 as well. Okay, O model is fine, and again, this is like a research research review and all, that model is being used. So GPT 4.5, okay, which is in the research preview at this point. Okay, so people who are doing the more research, and it is good for writing and exploring the ideas. This is the model which is being used. Again, these are all are the paid models, but again, the capabilities are amazing. So again, this is the largest and best model for the chat yet that they are claiming at this point. Okay, and again, it supports that, okay, unsupervised learning, which means that when you are giving it task, it's starting looking at the different resources, it start analyzing it, and then it combine the result and give you the more natural in conversation. And you know, again, it come up with the strong emotional intelligence as well. As I said, like, okay, artificial intelligence is the word popular now. Maybe in future we have emotional intelligence, neuro intelligence, this type of word also come up into the picture. Okay, writing, programming real world problems, it help you. Okay, and again, like this is like again in the testing mode right now. It's a research preview, and it has some limitation as well, but again, like it's open to discovering unexpected use case through the public exploration. So people are uh, throwing the different idea, it start to solve it out, and again, it uses that to train itself. Okay, so again, like it's more research preview highlight. Again, these research models are again becoming popular nowadays in the market. Deep reasoning, specifically, you know, when you are doing the vaccination kind of thing, right? You need to try out the different combinations. So at the time you require some sort of research. So at the time, this type of model will become a game changer for you. Okay, apart from that, they come up with one more model, GPT 4.1. Okay, now, you know, just don't consider that these versions are always, you know, in incremental order. Okay, so 4.0 is already like O model, which is again for deep reasoning model. There is one more model, GPT 4.1 and GPT 4.1 mini. Okay, basically these two models are more for the coders and programmers. So it can write your code in a more effective way. So if you are having some queries on code base, then this models are useful for that. So for your day-to-day code and programming, these are the widely used model, 4.1 and 4.1 mini. So what's the difference between 4.1 and 4.1 mini is 4.1 is for paid user, which is again have the more capability. 4.1 mini is for free users. ChatGPT also offer free users. So it has a limited number of call, and you can make a limited number of query in a day. So you will be having that limit over there. So GPT 4.1 mini will be on that. Sometimes, you know, GPT 4.1 also has some limit in a day that you can make this much of queries. And once you close that limit, it automatically switch the result from GPT 4.1 mini. Okay, so that's how they are uh, hosting these different models over there. Okay, so this is at least you should know, you know, when you are working with AI, it's not just like a co-pilot, but you know, when you are opening the chat GPT over here, at least you need to understand this. Now, if I'm opening this product as well, this is not a chat GPT class, but still I just wanted to bring up few things here, like, right? So as I said, you know, Sora model, you know, they have introduced that. This is again like a their another product where they are converting their videos, a text to video conversion tool. So specifically here, you just provide any prompt, and it will just create a video for you. Again, it's fully paid, and again for 5 seconds of video it charges a lot. But again, this is at just high level for knowledge purpose. I just wanted to talk about here. Okay, so this is all about different GPT models which I wanted to talk about here. Okay, now let me talk about one thing, that whatever GPT model that we have used so far, it's not like a free. You need to pay a price for this GPT model. Okay. Now, what's the pricing for that? Let me just talk about that a little bit. Okay. So, if we talk about the Chat GPT specifically, let me just go here. Okay. So this is the official pricing over here. So free version is $0. Free version is also available, but what capability, what models you can use with the limited capability, you can see it over here, which is $0, which is free, which you can use it out. Another is $20. I love this plan particularly. And I'm always using this because it is making my life much more simpler. Everything is in free. Plus, you will get some more capability with the latest models that they are launching it out. You can use Sora model. You can use, that 4.0 model with more capability than the free. Because in free, when you make 3-4 prompt in a day, after that, its limit is expiring. But this plus is coming with more capability. $20 per month is the pricing for it. And then last, Pro. This is like a more on the research level, and this is one of the most costliest plan over here. So it provides you the more deep research model, which which is not here at this point in ChatGPT Plus. So it come up with $200 plus per month capability. So mostly the people who are more onto research part, people who are doing more onto animation or more onto video part, they are usually looking and doing this particular pro version over here. $200 per month, it's again a significant amount. So they are using that. Again, at enterprise level as well, they have launched some plan, team plan and enterprise plan. So if you want ChatGPT for your entire organization or for an entire team, you can always use out this particular option or explore this option out over here. Okay, but this is at the very high level, the pricing around the GPT models. Okay, now we talked about ChatGPT. Okay, this is the context I'm setting up. Now our focus is to learn about the Microsoft, not like a ChatGPT. Okay, ChatGPT can be self-learn, but this is like a just base I'm talking about. Now, what is Microsoft Copilot and what type of copilots are available in the world of Microsoft? Let's try to explore this out. Okay, so specifically in the Microsoft world, what happened here is this is how they started positioning it. Microsoft Copilot is a generative artificial intelligence chatbot developed by the Microsoft. Again, name itself is a self-explanatory, okay, that it is developed by Microsoft. This is basically based on the GPT-4 model initially. You know how we started with GPT-1, 2, 3, 3.0, 4, 4.0, right? So it is based on GPT-4. Okay, but again, they are constantly updating the model behind this thing to improve the services. Okay, so latestly a few days back I have heard that okay, they started using 4.0 model as well in their product. So generally what happened here is ChatGPT have latest model always first. Okay, when it comes to Microsoft product, it will take some time because Microsoft is more governed model. They just don't use the model directly into their product because it has lots of customer. It has lots of sensitivity. Okay. So any model which is being developed by OpenAI to come up into the Microsoft space, it will take some time. Okay. And then it is slowly start integrating into all their product so that they can give the better result to you. Okay, nowadays they have introduced so many different capability into the office product with this Copilot and all. This is all based on this behind the scene OpenAI model developed over there. Okay, now why we should pick up the Microsoft Copilot? Let me tell you. If you aware about one thing, whenever you are using ChatGPT, okay, it's not always safe. to put everything sensitivity information on your chat GPT. Okay, there are certain set of settings and by default it's enable. Although they are claiming that we are not using your data, but let me tell you, there is one specific setting option over here. Okay, and like in a security, not security, there is in data control option. You can see here that okay, how you want to manage your chat, how you want to make it happen. And over here as well, it is using your reference and memories over here. Okay, and there is also one more setting when you are giving the permission to your uh, agent or chat GPT to utilize that data in order to train your model. So it's not a good practice. Although you can turn off that setting as well when you are in the paid version of the chat GPT. You can turn off and it will not capture any files that you are uploading to your chat GPT. It will stop that. Okay. But again, the thing is that enterprise level, we can't trust on chat GPT just because, you know, the way it is, because we really don't know, because OpenAI is a public platform, right? People can make the query over there. People can upload anything and, you will get the answer, right? And, sometimes, that Ghibli trend was started. you know, I know around 80% of people didn't know that images are already captured on their GPT server to train their image model much more better. So we need to be sensible when you are uploading your content to this kind of platform, right? When that Ghibli trend was happened, everyone started uploading the picture because why that trend was started? Because OpenAI has the less image um, databases with it. Okay, with that trend, the databases is flooded with lots of original images, which later on, obviously, when we are using the product, no one is reading the terms and condition privacy policy where this content is going to be consumed, right? No one is reading. We just accept terms and condition. We are just entering into the system, right? Those all the images behind the scene used to train its own database, right? And now their image database become more powerful just because of us, because we uploaded lots of content over there without reading their privacy policy. There is a switch available, you can turn it off and then you upload, then it didn't keep that according to their official legal documentation and all. But out of 100, hardly 3% or 4% of people has followed that box off, right? Apart from that, whatever you are making any prompt on your chat GPT, it is stored on their server. It is used to train its own model. Whenever you are uploading any file, it uses behind the server in order to train the model. So unnecessary. If you have heard one thing as well, like when ChatGPT was launched, one of the Samsung developer has developed one source file, code file on ChatGPT, and still it is today it's on their server, and their whole code go on the internet. This is where you need to become very specific when you are using this kind of model. That's where this Microsoft Copilot is come up into picture, where it come up with the security, when it come up with the governance. Although behind the scene backbone model is GPT, but surface layer is the Microsoft, and Microsoft is always focused on the security and privacy. Okay, so now what happened is with this Microsoft Copilot, what they have done behind the scene, their backend model is still GPT, but whatever you are using for your enterprise data, it's not go anywhere. Did you ever heard a news on anywhere so far till Microsoft world that okay, Microsoft sold SharePoint to multiple organizations and they steal the data and they sell the data to someone else? No, because their systems are so secure. You know, it's not even accessible. They have so many secure parameters. All your entire SharePoint, all your entire internet, all your entire cloud-based solution are 100% secure in the world of Microsoft, right? So that's the reason this Microsoft Copilot is start booming now, because no enterprise, because if you heard, many enterprises nowadays even block the chat GPT into their tenants. Why? Because they don't want their employees to unnecessarily open the chat GPT and place any content which is going publicly available, or maybe behind the scene OpenAI is uses or misuse that data to train their model. So people or organization has that frustration that okay, we don't want to share our sensitive data across the internet, right? And they are very cautious about that. Okay, if we are using Office, if we are using PowerPoint, so we need some native capability over there. So that's how this whole Copilot as a product come up into picture, and it is called as a Microsoft 365 Copilot, which is come up with the trust of the Microsoft that your data is in your tenant. We are not using any of your data to train our model. It's not going to go outside of your tenancy, and that is the trust factor. And that's how this whole product becoming more governed, more responsible, more privacy protected, and very, very popular in the enterprise world, because enterprise data is very, very secure and it completely follow all the compliance and standard for that. Okay, now the thing is that over here, if you look at this thing, okay, Microsoft has different product for each need of Copilot, and each come up with a different licensing. So for Office, they have Copilot everywhere: Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, OneNote, Calendar. You can see all this product everywhere there is Copilot. They have even security based on the Copilot, even in the Intune, Defender, and Entra also uses behind the scene Copilot for a couple of tasks making easier. Dynamics 365 module like D365 sales, customer insight, customer service, field service, finance, supply chain management, everywhere it is Copilot. So, when someone is registering any case in customer service and they just wanted to know the whole summary of that, Copilot is automatically doing that. Sometimes, when you are doing the automatic transfer to your Dynamics 365 module for a human agent, before it goes to the human, they have all the summary with the Copilot. Okay, so that makes the life easier. If calls are recorded in dynamic system for omni-channel, they have the transcript summary as well over there. So, it just make the life easier over there. In Power Platform, everywhere there is Copilot. Even if you want to create power apps with the Copilot, the option is available. It's like more developer friendly option. So you just provide a prompt, it will help you to build the Power Automate. It will help you to build power apps. Although the results are not great, but at least the capabilities are there. Power BI report also can be created with the Copilot. This is virtual agents. Nowadays call is Copilot Studio. That is our whole product. So you can build your own custom agent as well, which we will talk about in a while. Power Pages, we have Copilot, AI Builder, Dataverse, everywhere. Even now, if you tell the system that I want to create onboarding system, help me to create the database schema, it will create the Dataverse table as well for you. Isn't it cool? So this whole capability come up with the M365 Corporate. In Fabric, in all the Fabric module, also there is a Copilot capability. No matter it's a data factory or data warehouse or data enterprise or data science or real-time analysis or one, like everywhere Copilot is there. And again, like Microsoft Viva, again, it's one of the least popular product. It's, I can say, like Viva is one of the flop model of Microsoft, but again, everywhere there is AI capability. And as I said, like all the collaboration, like in SharePoint, we have Copilot. Teams as well, we have Copilot, right? They have launched Teams premium plan, right? So what happened is, whatever meeting you are joining, it record it, it summarize it taking the meeting notes, it just give you the follow-up items, everything, right? So that entire capability is there. Even OneDrive and other products that are available over here, everywhere there is a Copilot capability available there. Okay, so underneath Microsoft 365 umbrella as well, there are so many different Copilot. This is like a whole summary picture that I just wanted to give it to you. That in each product has different Copilot, and each product's pricing is also different, guys. Okay, so don't just think that okay, if you bought enterprise level Copilot, it come up with everything free, right? If you are just going with the normal enterprise level 3 or enterprise level 5 licenses, this is not coming up by default. For that, you need to pay extra. $30 plan extra, you need to take it out if you want to utilize this one. If you want to use Teams Premium, there is a separate plan for Teams Premium. You need to buy that. If you Power Platform is included with your E3 and E5. In Dynamics module, if you want to use Dynamics module, there is a separate plan. In Fabric, if you want to use the Fabric, it come up with only specific licensing where you can have the Copilot capability. So everything is come up with a price, but again, the protection of privacy as well as security, which is the first priority for this AI model, and that makes this product so special. Okay. So this is all about the M365 Copilot model. Okay. Now let me talk about 6 key reasons that why we should use the Microsoft Copilot over the ChatGPT. So let me tell you, number one reason is its seamless integration with the Microsoft tools. So you can see that Office, Excel, PowerPoint, everywhere natively integrated. You just, if you want to do in your PowerPoint, in your Word, right? You don't need to go to the 10 different places in order to, you know, make that happen for you. You just make a prompt within your Word or within your Excel, and it just do that entire activity over there for you. I will show you in a while, okay, how it will look like. All right. Second important thing is that it provided the contextual suggestion based on the business data. Now, this is a key factor. Okay. Now, just imagine when you use ChatGPT, it just use the public content in order to give you the answer, right? Sometimes, as I said, in our SharePoint, we have sensitive documents, sensitive files, sensitive PowerPoint presentation, right? And if you need some information from your business data, this will help you. It will give you the suggestion from it. If you want to compare two proposal, and if you write a prompt that I want to compare this versus this, give me what is the key based highlight. It will give you. And your data is within your tenant only. It's not going anywhere else over that. That's the plus point. Okay. It enhance your day-to-day productivity like email writing, and make the content proper and documents and all. It just make that life easier for you. Most important, it come up with enterprise grade security, cyber security, and data privacy. These are the key. And due to that, people are preferring to go with the M365 Copilot rather than OpenAI's Copilot. Nowadays, I'm using both the model, like OpenAI as well. I'm using this one as well. I'm using premium model. I turn off that feature. But again, still, I'm hesitating to upload some very sensitive on ChatGPT because although they have the whole privacy thing and all, but lots of news are there which is you know having me that grief that okay, this is very sensitive, I don't want to upload it over there. Maybe I'm not sure, although their white paper is saying we are not keeping that. But how these tech giants are working, you never tell. I mean, I'm always like a very private person, so I don't want to keep my sensitive information on ChatGPT. So at the time, my preference will be okay, I would like to go with the M365 Copilot, where at least I'm assuring that okay, this data is within my tenant. Although the base model is the GPT model, but it's not sending anything to OpenAI for as a part of the data. Okay. These are the main key reasons to use the Microsoft Copilot. Okay, so if we look at the ChatGPT versus Microsoft Copilot, so when you are having the general purpose conversation, maybe like writing or brainstorming and all, maybe you can use ChatGPT. But when you are working with the productive task for your enterprise data, maybe use M365 Copilot. Okay, this is not integrated easily with the other product like Office or Office product or Dynamics product or your entire M365 ecosystem. While this is tightly integrated, so it's again plus one over here. Language support. ChatGPT has a wide range of language support, while Copilot has a less language support. But again, why it is less? Because as I said, OpenAI launched their model first, and then when it's stable, when it's properly tested, then Microsoft is integrating those models into their product. So obviously, like right now, if you're talking about ChatGPT, it has 100 plus language support, but here there is a less language support. Okay, then pricing and accessibility. This is come up with the initial pricing. Their base plan is starting with a $20 per month. ChatGPT Plus plan. Okay. Over here as well, Copilot Pro program is starting $20 per month. Again, on top model, it is increasing, by product. So I'm always thinking at an enterprise level that okay, if I'm paying $20 over here, then why not $20 here, which come up with my own environment, my own files are secure and everything. Okay. Then again, security. So again, like as I said, like free version don't have any security in ChatGPT. Like whatever prompt you are writing, it is used again by its model to retrain its model and again. So whatever you are typing, your ChatGPT actually know that what exactly you are doing, right? So it's always like that. But again, it come up with the enterprise data protection. And what is enterprise data protection, which I'll also talk about in a while. Okay. And then performance and accuracy, as I said, like this is like more provide like detail and contextually rich responses, especially in creativity and conversation context. And over here, it used for professional and enterprise use cases, and providing accurate and concise response for document creation, data analysis, and coding. Okay, now the only thing is that obviously in ChatGPT, because it trained on so many parameters, as well as it do its training process again and again. So obviously sometimes you will get better result. And again, like many videos also available on YouTube, like people are comparing even the different model, ChatGPT versus Gemini AI versus Bard model, right? And again, like each one has its own flavor, because it depends that on which parameter it's being trained. Based on that, it is giving you the output, right? So again, like for enterprise, I would always say go with the Microsoft Copilot. Again, like when you are more into creative field and all, I'm always using ChatGPT over there. So this is like a base difference between ChatGPT and Microsoft Copilot, because many people are questioning me that, okay, ChatGPT is available, then why we need this Microsoft Copilot and all. So these are security and privacy is the biggest concern on the ChatGPT, because every organization has that particular concept in the mind. Okay, now let's just talk about like licensing in the world of Copilot. Okay, so is it something that Copilot is always paid, and what are the very base licenses available? Let me just talk at the very high level right now. Okay, in detail, Copilot Studio licensing we will cover in the class number 3, but I'm just talking about, how you are prompting to your Copilot, how it is working. Let me just talk about that. Okay, so let me divide into two parts. Number one part is you have your Office 365 license. Okay. And let's say second way is if you have your personal account. Now, what do I mean by personal account? Personal account means Dhruvin@outlook.com. Now, outlook.com is what? Personal account. Dhruvin@live.com, which is personal account, right? Simple part this time. And what is enterprise account? Enterprise account means dhruvin.shah@powerplatformtrainings.com, or dhruvin@tcs.com, or dhruvin@yenfeng.com, right? So this is all like a professional account where it owns the company identity. Most of the time, those accounts are your company account, which is follow on some tenant. Okay, so two type of email accounts are available: enterprise account and personal account. Okay, let's say for an example, when I'm just using Bing chat, right, or Edge browser I'm opening, whenever I'm doing any chat, right, at that time I'm not configuring any kind of organization account, maybe in your computer. Okay, so let me just show you that what exactly do I mean by that. Let's say for an example, if I'm having personal account, then what are the plans available over there? Okay, let me just open this out over here very quickly. So I'm opening one of my Outlook account over here first. So just give me a minute. I'm just opening this out. Even you can do it that thing with your own account. Okay. And this is my Outlook account. You can see that this is a plain Outlook account, and this is the email address through vinsha1619@outlook.com. Okay. Now let's say if I want to utilize the Copilot over here, the option is available over here as well. Okay. Microsoft 365 Copilot. And there is one more option also available over here. You just need to hit a URL in your browser, copilot.microsoft.com. Just a minute. So.com. Okay, and when you open this out, it will just open up similar kind of chat GPT experience for you. Okay, and this is like a free version of Copilot with Outlook account. Okay, and again, it come up with a very base capability that, okay, if you want to create any image, or if you want to create any personal quiz, or if you want to do anything, you can just write it like this. Let's say for an example, if I'm just writing here that help me to create some content around power apps variable. Okay, and when I hit enter, it same work like a chat GPT. It will just look at your public resources, everything, and it will just give you the answer over here. Okay, and it's like a more personalized, and this is how it just giving you the result, and just provide you the options over here. Okay, now the thing is that this is called as the free version of the Copilot, which is available for any personal account. Okay. Now in personal account as well, they introduce one more paid version. It's like ChatGPT Plus. Okay. They have introduced, like, if you are going to your Outlook and if you clicking on that with your personal account, this Microsoft 365 Copilot over here, and go to the Copilot option here. This is like a paid version. Okay. And its pricing is starting with $20 per user per month. Okay. Which means that it will provide you the M365 app capability over there, which means that in your online version, whatever your private documents are there, based on that it will give you the output, as well as more and more question you will ask, it will give you the response according to it. Okay, and if you just want to look at its official pricing over there on the internet, let me just quickly open it up, one of the link over here for licensing of this one Copilot Pro first. Okay, so if I'm just pasting this out over here, this is saying the Copilot Pro licensing pricing. Okay, so this Copilot Pro with the personal account is come up with a $20 per user per month of pricing. Okay, and what it come up with the capability that, okay, you can get some credit, you can get real-time result, you can preferred access to AI model during the peak times, as well as early access of the latest features, Copilot in the Microsoft 365 app, like, okay, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, everywhere you can use the Copilot. Okay, you can write the documents in Outlook as well. It is integrated. Okay, elevate your presentation. Okay, so all these features that it offering over here with the Copilot Pro. So just consider personal account is equal to either free or Copilot Pro. Any one of these you can choose it out. And Copilot Pro is coming up with a $20 capability. This is like, non-Microsoft user generally use this methodology. Okay. Generally at the enterprise level, when we talk about enterprise level, always Microsoft 365 license they are already having in the organization level. Most of the time, people who are working in the Power App, SharePoint, Power BI, they are having either E3 license or E5 license. And Microsoft has the different Copilot licensing for enterprise grade licensing, and that is called as a Copilot license, different set of licensing, which I'm going to talk about in a while. So now let me just open up one of my professional account over here, so you will get a better understanding around that. Okay, so this is my professional account. Okay, I don't want to just show the email address at this point just for the privacy purpose, but let me just talk about this. When I open the portal.office.com over here, okay, generally what happen here is this Microsoft 365 Copilot. Now this is becoming the new homepage whenever you are typing portal.office.com in your office. And if you are having the Copilot licensing, this is like your homepage. And over here, you can see this whole stuff for you, where you can write a prompt, you can get whatever you want, and it come up with lots of other capability as well, which I'll talk about in a while. But again, like over here, if you look at this come up with the data protection symbol. Okay, and when you read this out, it is saying you that enterprise data protection applies to this chat, which means that whatever you are doing, let's say if you're uploading any image or if you're uploading any file, it's not going anywhere. And you can read this whole article, that what data is protecting, what it is sending, what language model it uses, what's the privacy policy, everything you can read it out over here. So this is come up with this kind of enterprise data protection trust over here. Even if you want to have some sort of web search, you can do it from here. From work file as well, you can do your search over here, and it will just give you the result the way you want. Okay, and again, they have introduced so many other feature as well, like analyst. This is like a deep reasoning model. Analyst, researcher, they have introduced these features recently. Again, this is not a scope of what product we are learning, but this is I'm just giving you at the very high level. And what cost they are charging for this whole capability. Now, Let me just talk about that. So whenever you are on the enterprise licensing, at the time the cost it charge is M365 Copilot license cost. And let me just open up its official link over here to just give you the cost idea. So whenever you need that cost capability, it come up with this licensing. Microsoft 365 Copilot licensing, which is $30 per user per month. Okay, and it can be accessible your entire Office product, all the Office application, desktop mode as well as your cloud mode. You can have Copilot chat and Copilot pages, Copilot studio capability, as well like some of the generative answer it can use that. Okay, and so many other different feature as well it is offering to you over here. So generally at enterprise level, if you want, if you are having the professional account, most of that is the case. If you want the co-pilot capability like this generative AI and generative thing, at that time you need to use Microsoft 365 co-pilot licensing over here, which is cost you $30 per user per month. Okay, so this is like a simple licensing part. Okay, so personal account, two licensing free, and second one is Copilot Pro. Enterprise license, enterprise account, you need to go with always M365 Copilot license. Okay, free is always there. Okay, but free doesn't come up with all the capability for you. Okay, in both the version, free version is there. If you do use copilot.microsoft.com, it will just allow you, but with the limited capability, but this is coming with the entire product integration for you with the $30 of pricing. Okay, so this is all about the co-pilot licensing. Now still our training agenda didn't started here, still we are talking about co-pilot, right? Our training is all about Copilot Studio, which means custom agent, custom model development, okay, which we will start in a while. But just to summarize, licensing, free version of Copilot for consumer or business is free. Paid license, Copilot Pro for individuals, and M365 Copilot license for the enterprise. Okay, what we can do in free version, we have seen here, and paid version, what would be the pricing we have seen here. Okay, and this is like a Copilot M365 Copilot license. I provided the reference link as well, which you can utilize later it out for yourself. Okay, so this is all about the high level product set idea about the M365 Copilot. Okay, now we need to start our journey with the actual Copilot Studio. But at this point, I would like to pause here for a moment. If so far with the AI terminology, if you have any question, any thought process, I'm happy to answer it out at this point. You know that, okay, what exactly we have, so many things we talked about like GPT model, how AI works behind the scene, parameters used behind the scene, and the data protection and all. So I'm happy to answer it out. And then we can go to the next base, which is Copilot Studio. Okay, so the stage is open for Q&A now. I can see first raise hand from Anand. You have a question?
Hi, Druvin. Thank you, Druvin, for giving this background thing because we are just on the up. Means my understanding was on the upper side only. Now, understanding the investment and all the things from OpenAI and the Microsoft level and enterprise and the free level. So I've got many insights. So my thought process is coming around this thing is like, let's suppose I have this M365 enterprise level licensing, and if I feed all my enterprise level documents on it, so and then it gets integrated to, let's suppose, PowerPoint, and if I just write a prompt, uh, kindly prepare a presentation for tomorrow's meeting on so and so product, means whatever it is in my organization, so will it read from there and then present make a slides accordingly like that?
So you need to write your prompt in different ways. So it's a good question. Let me just show you this out so you will get a better idea. So this is how usually it works. Just a minute. Let me just open up this one. Okay. So generally what happen here is this is how usually we do at the enterprise level. Just a minute. Let's say for an example, if I'm going here, I'm going to the, let's say, a Word document or maybe PowerPoint, just consider any use case, it will work. So I'm going here. And now over here, I need to supply it out that, okay, what you want to prepare, right? So I'm just saying I want to make technical design document. Just a minute. Let me start the blank document first. Okay. And there is a prompt option over there as well. Okay, so I'm just creating one blank document within this same tenancy. I open the Copilot from the right side over here.
Yes.
And over here, I need to provide some references because it will not immediately know that, okay, using which I need to prepare this. So again, there are different ways that where you are using the Copilot. So if you are creating something like this Word or PowerPoint, maybe you just need to help me to write proposal using, you can attach some file over here.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
there is an option. So you just need to supply that, okay, what file you are having over here, like let's say
Right,
this
right,
file.
right.
So, and based on that, it will understand and it will start reading and populating the stuff over here.
Correct, correct.
Again, in the SharePoint, it behaves differently. Like if you are writing any search query and let's say AI is responding you on the Copilot side, right side. So what permission you have, it will look at that first. If you don't have a permission on the document, it will not read it and it will not answer it out to you. But if you have permission of proper access, it consider all those aspects and give you
Mm-hmm.
all these result set for you.
So this enterprise level Copilot thing, if is permitted to us, is granted to us from the organization
Yes,
side, and then integrated for making the presentations and also the document. Let's suppose there are 100, one document is of 100 page, and I just want to put some key pointers, so that will be prepared for the next presentation kind of stuff. So this is something which is I'm getting from Copilot paid version, correct? Which is
yes.
M365
Microsoft
licensing.
365 Copilot Enterprise
Yeah.
license. Yes,
And
$30
then
plan. Yes.
yeah, and then if I want to use this as a chat between your user and the enterprise document, then we will be doing that custom thing. That
Copilot
is the
Studio.
main product.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
yes.
Okay.
That's a different
Okay.
product, and this is different product. Yes,
And the SharePoint also can be configured in this Copilot, right? This
yes,
kind of Copilot
yes,
with permissions
yes.
and all.
You can. Yep, you
Okay.
can.
Okay.
Yep,
Yeah. Thank you so much, Julian. Yeah.
perfect. Next, I can see raise hand from Javed.
Yes, Rubin, I understand that we should go with Microsoft Copilot rather than ChatGPT, right? Because there's a lot of security, everything is
Security is
integrated.
the biggest thing. Yes,
Yeah.
security is the biggest
But,
thing. Apart from, yeah, go ahead.
yeah. But last time I was using Power Automate for AI Builder. Hmm? There's a prompt in it, but when it opens, it only gives me the option of using ChatGPT. I'm in right now in Microsoft Power Automate in the AI
Really?
Builder prompt. I don't know what was it prompt. I was using a template because I wanted to categorize a text. Hmm? And it gave me the options. Only two options were available: ChatGPT 4.0 and I think 4.0 a paid
Oh,
version.
I see. I see what you
There
are
was no
saying.
Copilot.
Is there, it is showing you the option to choose the model, correct? That's
Yeah,
what That's what you are referring, that
yeah,
select
yeah,
the 4.0 model or 4.0 model of ChatGPT or OpenAI. Is it something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah,
Or like,
yeah.
okay, so let me tell you, behind the scene, whatever we are saying in the word of Copilot over here, right? Even this is somewhere using GPT, means that ChatGPT itself it uses behind the scene. But the thing is that over here, ChatGPT is not consuming in your any of your data. So the thing is that just imagine 1.7 trillion parameter used to train GPT-4o model, right? Now just imagine it trained once, right? So most of the time people are consuming that. So it's not like that Microsoft trained their own model. Although in future they can train it by their own, but behind the scene it uses that model, which is not sending data back to
Just
the
plan that accordingly and I'll
model
stay
to
versus
train it
so
again.
far. The changes.
I think, Shashank, your voice is, I mean, someone's mic is on.
That's fine. Apart from that, you make other
Yeah,
changes, no?
sorry.
You done now?
Someone mic
You
is
do.
on. His
Okay.
mic is on. I don't see it. Okay. Anyway, so the thing is that Javed, to conclude your question, even when we go with the Chat Copilot Studio, behind the scene it will still use the OpenAI's model as a base model. But the thing is that that is a base model. It's not your final UI product. UI product is still your this one, your whatever interface by using which you are calling your model, right? So your data will be safe on that node because Microsoft can't train again like GPT-4o mini or 4o model again to train the data based on so many different parameters. That's how they just separate this out. ChatGPT UI is different versus M365 Copilot UI is different. Of course, the model is same behind the scene. Base model is same, but you know the rest of the features are same. Just imagine, you are buying a car, right? And I mean, different models are available in the car. Like, let's say if you are going with a brand of Tesla, or let's say if you are going with a local brand like Maruti, or let's say you are going with the Hyundai, any brand, right? So they are different brand model, they are different product, right? Now behind the scene engine, right? Maybe some supplier are creating, like let's say for an example, Bosch is a supplier who is creating engines for the car. Maybe what happened is they sell the whole blank engine to these whole car providers. Now it's up to them that how they are customizing it. Just think about the nuts and bolts, right? Produced by the different providers. Now they sell it to different product owners. That okay, now whichever way you want. Now whether you color that bolt or whether you just put it as is, it's totally up to you. But it's like a blank, I mean, vanilla model they basically offer to these particular companies in order to perform the automation. So it's not something that Microsoft is the only one who is partner with OpenAI. Like Salesforce, they are also using some OpenAI model or some sort of Gemini AI model over there. Even Microsoft Azure nowadays started using some other model apart from OpenAI. They even integrated that what's the Chinese model? I forget the name now. Uh, they have configured that, as well as they have capability of integrating the Gemini model as well within the
DeepSeek.
Microsoft space. So yeah, DeepSeek model. Yeah. So they have that capability now with all the products. So just consider that this as this. So whenever you see 4.5 or 4.0, so base model is this. You want to use this model to generate your result. It's saying you that. Okay. Hopefully, Javed, this is answering your question.
So I have thought that they would also provide some Microsoft things, but then some Copilot, but like you explained. So
Copilot is the word. Yeah.
okay, I got it right now. Thank
Okay. Okay.
you, Druvin. Thank you.
Perfect. All right. Anyone else has any other question before we jump in? Now, one final 5-minute thing I want to cover, and then we are good to wrap up this class. Anyone else has any other question, or maybe just give me some raise hand. I mean, just reactions that at least everyone is following with me so far. I'm happy to uh, see like how many of you are following with me so far. Okay, perfect. All right. So now coming to the main part, that why we are learning this Copilot Studio. This is like a whole base framework that we are just talking about, right? So many times, as I said at the very beginning, there are lots of other use cases which you can achieve with the help of Copilot Studio. So what are those? Let's just talk at the very high level over here, and then in next class we will go into detail. Okay. So generally, whenever I'm starting any of my Power Platform class, I usually have this slide as always my first slide. So Copilot Studio is one of the Power Platform product. So underneath Power Platform, we are having the different product set. We are having Power BI for reporting, Power Apps for business application, Power Automate for process automation, Power Pages for external facing website. We have one product, Copilot Studio, as well underneath this umbrella. Now, what this Copilot Studio is basically doing, now let's talk about that. Okay, so again, like we will not, because at this level, Copilot Studio is low code, no code platform to build AI agents and perform the automation without requiring any code knowledge. Generally, when we are talking about the code base versus no code, generally when we are trying to utilize this kind of model, okay, we need to have some sort of programming knowledge sometime, like Python scripting. Python is most used machine learning language, which most of the people are using to train the model, utilize the model, get the data from that model, get the output from their model, right? But there was some easy way, like how we are using the Power Apps and Power BI and Power Automate. Copilot Studio is making that life easier for us. Like you just provide some prompt, it will create the agent for you. When you prompt it, it will answer it out. So you can focus more on the productivity rather than focusing on how to write a code. Okay, so Copilot Studio is low code, no code platform to build your own custom agent. Now, what do I mean by custom agent? Let's talk about that. So basically, Copilot Studio is a graphical low-code tool for both creating an agent and extending to a Microsoft 365 Copilot with your own enterprise data and scenario. Now, let me give you some examples over here. Let's say, for an example, you want to create a chatbot which is integrated in your teams for HR, like leave policies, enterprise data policies. You have some documents already. You train your model with that document library of SharePoint, and you just created one bot, deploy it in your agent, in your Microsoft Teams. Now, what happens is when someone chat to your enterprise data, it will look at your enterprise data document, it will give the answer automatically, and that makes life easier. Let me give you second example. It can useful for autonomous agent, which means, let's say for an example, as I said, at the very beginning, AI is replacing many human jobs. A receptionist job, let's say for an example, you are working in one of the company who is supplying the different part for manufacturing device, and generally what happens is suppliers are every day emailing to their mailbox that ask for a quotation, and one person is simply looking at the database, looking out, okay, how many inventory available, what's the pricing for that day, and they are just reverting it back via email. Right now, this is whole manual activity, and 8 to 10 employees are doing this activity every day because they are receiving every day 500,000 emails. Okay, now this autonomous agent can be easily configurable with the mailbox. So it just read the mailbox, any incoming mailbox, it read it. It just located out the context that what customer has asked me. They already have their inventory database. It's connected behind the scene with this Copilot Studio. It just look at the query. It just make a query to the database and see that, okay, this person has asked the quotation for door panel. This person has asked the quotation for, let's say for an example, they ask for some sort of tire. Just look at that. See how many quantity they ask for, how many price for each quantity. Do the summarization and draft a beautiful email and send it to them automatically. That 10 person's job is going from there because this entire autonomous agent is done that particular job for it. Right. So that complete use case end to end you can build up over here with this Copilot agent. Of course, we are going to build the similar use case in upcoming class with the practical, so you will get a better idea. But these are just some example, just entire customer service module, IT supporting system module. If you are in the finance module, finance domain, you can build the balance checker kind of chatbot where someone is asking that what's the balance, who are the top rated customer, who are the low rated customer, how many stocks are getting the better result today. You can achieve it with the help of Copilot Studio. So again, Copilot Studio is an end-to-end conversational AI product for building your own Copilot, extending Microsoft 365 Copilot with generative AI and large language model with your data. That's the key here. This is the highlighted. This slide is officially from official Ignite slide that I said. And I love this statement, your Copilot, your way, which means that your data, your privacy, and the way you want, you can customize it. Okay. Now, it's very easy to work with Copilot Studio. Again, it's a low code. Okay. It can easily integrate it with the other AI services. Let's say if you want to connect this Copilot Studio with custom connector with third-party API, you can connect it out. You want to connect it with the Azure Cognitive Services, you can connect it out. Okay. It's very easy to build, manage, and publish and extend the Copilot. How easy it is, we will see in the next class. So you will get a better idea around that. Chat over knowledge with generative AI. So again, your own enterprise data with the privacy protected, look at the content, answer it out. Okay. Specific topic automatically creation. Now, what is topic? That is again my next class topic, so just wait for that. You can have actions and plugin option, which again we will talk about in the next class. And publish to the multiple channels. What are those channels? We'll also talk about in the next class. Monitoring improvement is also very easy into Copilot Studio. Okay, so this is all about like, okay, what as a product you can see here. It's everything very easy, low code at one center place and managing everything by your own. Okay, and these are some official case study which Microsoft reveals that, okay, most of your customer service, as I said, like, L1 support, 14% of more customer issues per hour are resolved after implementing the Copilot. Sales. So streamline process of checking and answering the emails is becoming so easy over here. 55% of faster code development for software developers. Even, many organizations nowadays claiming that their 100% code will be written using the Copilot in the future. Let's see how it will. But yeah, it's true reality, right? Right now, if I want to write some code, I don't write my PowerShell script and everything by from scratch. I always use Copilot to do it for me. Then of course, I use my mind to tweak the changes. But yeah, it is actually doing that. Okay, knowledge workers, 37% of weaker tasks they are doing into that. Just consider, we have recently implemented one of the Copilot project for manufacturing unit. So they are having the different boiler plant, and boiler has a complex structure of the element. So someone new come up, they don't understand what is this. So they don't go to the manager to ask. They just use this Copilot and they just click picture, upload it, and tell it like what is this, and it will tell that okay what exactly it is. So behind the scene, it trained with the own knowledge source and just giving this whole information over there. Okay, and again it come up with the different security operation as well, and data and IT pros are also using this particular thing. Okay, security in the sense like if you heard about the stock market and mutual funds nowadays, in India specifically SEBI, who is authorized security for all the stock exchanges, right? So they are using AI, and income tax department also uses this kind of agents to identify the anomaly or identify the fraud. So let's say if one stock price is constantly increasing, they try to identify that okay, all its record are proper, or it's is that some sort of dummy trading is happening into that and all, and they try to identify and figure that out. Okay, but this is all about like some use cases which where this Copilot Studio is making the life easier and doing the things faster. All right. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to talk about very high level. Next class, we will start again from Copilot Studio from scratch with actual practical demonstration, and we'll talk about in detail. And in next class, I'm talking about the access and practice material and everything. So just wait for next class. Today's is all about the introduction of AI and Copilot. That's what I wanted to talk about. Okay. So that's pretty much it for today. I would like to pause here for a moment. If anyone has any question, I'm happy to answer. Otherwise, we are good to wrap up at least for today's class. So yeah, the stage is open now for Q&A. If anyone has any question, feel free to bring it up. I'm happy to answer it out. Right. Okay, perfect. I do not see any more raised hand. Or maybe if you are pretty much clear, just give me some reactions that everyone is good with me so far. And then we will connect on Wednesday class with in detail start of the Copilot Studio in detail. All right. All right. Thank you so much everyone for your time in this afternoon. Have a great evening ahead and see you in the Wednesday class. Till then, have a great day. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.